Neil, what will you do if the Marlins go up to Chicago and sweep the Cubs?
4 seconds left before 10 o'clock.
You're
2,
on.
1.
You're up. It's 10.
Woof. 10 o'clock in the big city.
You don't want to
Well, it's 2 holidays, right?
What are you guys doing? It's after 10 o'clock.
Oh, we're supposed to be done? We're off?
We were going to
It's
chit-chat with
Columbus
you.
Day. It's Canadian Thanksgiving, eh?
What do you do on Canadian
Happy
Thanksgiving?
eh?
What do you do?
Do you eat turkey?
Already did that yesterday.
Oh.
Nice. Well, happy Canadian
Today I'm
Thanksgiving,
going to
Neil.
go out and chase the bird.
Excellent.
All right, Neil, have a good one.
Don't come back to me. I mean, come back soon, guys.
Okay, we'll be back.
We'll do.
It'll be a
See
pleasure.
ya.
Where are you, Scott? We need you
Oh,
badly.
yes, we do.
Bye.
See ya.
Columbus Day and Canadian Thanksgiving. I'm working.
Holy cow. That game was worse than spotting Neil Rogers on Hollywood Beach in one of those butt floss bathing suits.
Hi, this is Kimberly Plummer, KABC News, with a one-on-one interview with gubernatorial hopeful Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me,
I
Mr.
apologize.
Schwarzenegger. What do you apologize for? I'm not following you.
For everything, Kimberly Plummer, KBC News. I'm sorry to the people of California.
For what? Those bad movies you make?
No. Although, if you don't like them, I'm sorry, Kimberly Plummer, KBC News.
Look-
I'm sorry for this.
You just touched my boobies!
That was a demonstration, Kimberly Plummer. I'm sorry.
Well, don't do your demonstrations on me, Mr. Schwarzenegger. I am here for a serious interview with you.
I apologize. You're very whiny. Go ahead with your question.
Well, you're very touchy-feely.
I apologize.
Excuse me, but did you just touch my ass?
That was a demonstration, Kimberly Plummer, KBC News. That's why I want to apologize to the people of California.
And I believe you should.
I'm sorry.
I see you have a problem with women.
I don't have a problem with women. I like to touch them.
Excuse me, but we are not an object.
May I see your anteater?
My what?
Your anteater. May I see it?
I don't think I have an anteater.
You have an anteater. It's right here. That's your anteater.
I can't believe you just put your hand...
I'm sorry. I apologize. Oh! Do it again. Yeah, good for you, Kimberly Plummer. You want me now, don't you?
You're a perv.
Let us have your anteater. Ow! I'm sorry. I apologize.
You are disgusting.
I want to be the governor. Here, pull my lever. Vote for me.
Ew. Why is it purple?
I eat grapes. I'm a grape eater. Pull my lever.
10:03 at 560 WQAM. I love that. Wow. 1,385 votes on the poll from over the weekend. This was our second poll on Friday. Little George wasn't there Friday, so he doesn't know what the hell was going on.
What?
Not much. It was okay. It was sure better than the Beast and Clarence show. Pharrell is ailing. He's out of the weather, although a lot of people probably don't believe that. Think they believe it?
No.
Maybe he's going on strike.
Okay.
Maybe he doesn't want to be babysat. You think that might have something to do with it? Although Scott Jr. says Pharrell is really sick today. What's he got?
He's sick of this place.
Oh, well, I can't say that I blame him. That's why I'm not there. Which of these people do you most strongly believe is successful or has a job because of their skin color? We asked on Friday. And Miriam Elephant runs away with it. You know, remember the guy, Scott, that called in and was giving me a song and a dance about, she didn't break any laws and she was, I'll say it again, was the same as Gray Davis. Same thing. He didn't break any laws. Public finally got fed up with him and they said, get rid of him. And that's what ought to be happening with Miriam Elephant. Only Gray Davis is a little grayer and lighter complected. So that's why she wins our poll. Hands down. Nice going, Miriam. Oh! Keep firing people. Miriam Elephant, 503 votes. Condoleezza, 358, which we have a really good story on our website today, just ripping Condoleezza a big, big ass. And Clarence Token Thomas, 268. Those three heads and shoulders above anybody else. Poor Oprah had only 71. Eminem had 69. I bet he enjoyed it. Jay Fiedler, 31. Bryant Gumball, 26. Johnny's Cockring, 25. Donovan McNabb, 24. Donovan McNabb. 24. And Greg Gumbel had only 8. See, Greg Gumbel should, if we ever do a poll on nepotism, who has a job only because of nepotism, Greg Gumbel win that, he'd be in the running anyway.
When are we doing that poll?
What?
That's a good idea.
That is a good poll. Who's got a job or whatever because of nepotism?
Of course, you'd have to explain that word to the audience.
Right. As in family. Anyway, Miguel, the QM Best of Neil family will be on today somewhere, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 163rd and US 1 in North Dade at a gas station. I still say there's a Big Daddy's there on the northeast corner of that
He'll
intersection.
scout the corner and pick a good spot.
Am I thinking of 163rd or is it one? Because the railroad tracks are right there, right?
Okay, right by there, yes.
Yeah. Or am I thinking of 183rd and US 1?
No, the tracks are along both of them.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Big Daddy's.
It's around there. You're not far.
Anyway, we'll give you about within a 20-block radius of where it is, and then you look for the QM van with our Best of Neil merchandise, which is really going over big time this year, not?
That'd be funny.
Yeah. I think the Mo Howard David keychain may have something to do with it. Plus the fact that people are really, really tight, and it's amazing to me that the same people who didn't have two nickels to rub together, who couldn't afford to go to any of those Marlin games during the regular season, and now during the postseason activities, which they're still hanging on, 65,000 has become the norm at PP Park. Isn't that amazing to you?
Shocking.
Even on a rainy day and all the other stuff, 65,000. Yesterday, it didn't look to me like they had as many Cub fans as they did for the game on Friday and Saturday. Man, it was unbelievable. There were thousands and thousands of them freaking Cub fans there on Friday and Saturday. Weren't there, Scott?
Yes, there were.
Scott doesn't know, though, because he was at the Panther game.
That's right.
And is trying to tell me that Saturday night that there were a whole bunch of people there for the Bruin-Panther game. 1-1 overtime tie, another kiss your sister routine, very commonplace. And I'm telling you, I saw parts of that game on TV on the package, and there was nobody there. And that's understandable, because everybody was either at the Cub-Marlin game or they were watching it on TV. Nobody was at the Panther game. Scott says, there was at least 14,000.
There was.
Yeah. Whatever you say. Even the paper attendant said only 13,000, which, they always goose that by about 4,000 or 5,000. So that gets it down to 8 or 9. And then when you take away the half of that's been giveaway tickets, not too thrilling so far. MPs get their, and of course, Farrell, I sure hope he's not home listening while he's out sick, while he's sick of the place, because I just want to say he was a little skeptical last week. What day was it? Was it Monday that I read the big thing from the Inquirer about Rush?
Whatever, I don't remember that far back.
Whatever, maybe it was, I think, the week before that, wasn't it?
Possibly.
Several days ago, whenever the hell it was, and I read the thing from the Inquirer, which I trust implicitly with Scott's life. I trust the Inquirer. They don't make no mistakes very often. And especially when they splash a big thing on the front page like that, you can bet Scott's life on it that it's the Emmis, that it's for real. So all of this Rush business. And Farrell said to me last week,
yeah, but that's a National Enquirer deal. Do you really believe that? And that bitch, he probably made that stuff up.
Why was he defending Rush, Why is he so skeptical? He better get with it.
I think he's just contrary.
Is that he just being a prick? At any rate, the bottom line is not only is it true, but then, of course, on Friday on his show, Rush said, I'm going to get into that. In fact, we might spend a whole show on it today.
Good.
Here's the poll. I'm serious. I've got a whole bunch of other stuff, too, to drop in. Here's the retired guy. WQAM, hello. QAM. Happy holidays. Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes. I've heard you guys advertise a machine somewhere in Hollywood that stretches your bag back, a DRG or DW.
Stretches your bag?
Stretches your back. You guys
stretches your bag?
Your back.
That sounds like Reverend
back.
Jones to me.
You don't need a
Doesn't that
machine
sound like
for
Reverend
that.
Jones? Huh?
Pardon me?
You don't need a machine for that.
Yeah, stretch this. Anyway, here's the poll for today. Do you have any idea what he's talking about?
No.
A back-stretching machine?
No, it sounds like the rack.
Yeah, let's put his ass on the rack just in honor of Columbus Day. By the way, we should probably have some special music today, don't you think? In honor of Columbus Day, because I was reading that there's a big celebration going on all weekend for the Italian-American... Huh?
I thought you were going to want some Colombian music.
For what?
Columbus Day.
For Colombian Day?
Yeah.
And how about for Canadian Thanksgiving Day? Man, I'll tell you one thing. Turkey and cranberry sauce and stuffing and mashed taters with gravy, all kinds of good stuff that I dragged over here yesterday. What's your take? Here's the poll. What's your take on the Rush Limbaugh drug addiction story? And I've got 3, 6, 7 great choices, as usual. That's why hopping on our poll is a lot of fun. Want to hop on our poll?
No.
What's your take on a Rush Limbaugh drug addiction story? Oh, speaking of hopping on the poll, boy, I got a great story that's on our website about guys and their butt crack who were like trying to break a record. Seriously. You're laughing. This is a serious
record? Well, I'm just trying
also,
to figure out.
uncircumcised men have a much higher HIV risk. I just mentioned that for George's benefit. Where the hell is my poll story? It's in here somewhere in my big pile. I got a big pile. Is this it? No, that's about the girl taking a shower that's being videotaped by a cop, an 11-year-old girl in the shower. Here's the one about Condoleezza sucks and blows. Here it is. Iron buttock pole sitting champs crack at day 165 in Berlin. They cracked.
Cracked them.
After 165 days of sitting on the old pole. Anyway, I bet you Duff could probably tell you some stories. What's your take on the Rush Limbaugh drug addiction story? Here's your 7 choices. He's a big fat hypocrite. I hope he never comes back. I'm still a ditto head. I feel very sorry for him. Rush is God. I always knew he was full of Schmidt. Or, hey Rush, paper or plastic? Those are the 7 choices today. I'm going to have to think about it for a while, you know what? And of course, back when he went through his deaf period there for several months and looked like he was on the verge of being out because he couldn't hear a goddamn thing, there were a lot of people, oh, we feel so sorry for poor Rush.
How can you get
yada, 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 yeah, and this is so terrible. Well, guess what? In the New Inquirer, October 21st, which I have in my hand right now, in the midst of all the rest of the story, his own doctor's new pills cause deafness, this says. How do you like that?
Yeah.
Hydrocodone overuse was associated with rapidly progressive sensory neural hearing loss in 12 patients. These patients can be successfully rehabbed with cochlear implantation, which is what he had exactly. I mean, it's right there for you. Oh, we feel so sorry for Rush. He's only popping in like 20, 30,000 a week. So we'll talk about that at great length today because not that I want to dance on his demise, do I?
Yes.
Of course, he's only going away, he says, for 30 days, but the experts on rehab and all this crap he was taking, OxyContin and all this other stuff, they say there ain't a Chinaman's chance in hell he's going to be able to get off that stuff in 30 days. No chance. No way, Jose, is what they're saying. Huh? Mm-hmm. And let me say it again. Plenty of people out there have drug problems, but what a hypocrite. Statements like, just a little piece. His comment on Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead when he died, he said, 8/11/95, Limbaugh says he's another dead drug addict. That was his compassionate statement.
Yeah.
I guess he didn't like that Ben & Jerry's ice cream. How's that a problem?
Who couldn't?
Probably made him fat as a cow. And another thing, of course, losing all of that weight. Well, at any rate, 10:13 at 560 WQAM. It was in the Inquirer, Scott. We bet your life on it, baby. Trust me. Don't trust Greg or Duff or Clarence, but trust me. Hey, if you have a crappy job, how'd you like to have yourself a new high-paying career before the end of the year? Does it sound good?
Yes.
So call our friends at Fast Trade today. I've been telling you about this since before FDR was a baby. So what are you waiting for? Call them today, toll-free at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN, because it's true. Just that one simple call can really change your life. Fast Train can have you trained and certified before year's end. The demand for computer professionals is continuing to grow like topsy. There's no better time than right now to get you a new high-paying career. Fast Train offers job placement assistance, convenient day evening weekend schedules, and with 6 Florida locations, including 4 right in South Florida, there's bound to be one very close and convenient by yous. Fast Train offers financial assistance for people who qualify, too. So if you're sick and tired of working for peanuts, if you're in a really crappy job, you're frustrated because your life is on a treadmill, make that change today. Call 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. Check them out on the web first if you like it, fasttrain.com, and then make that call finally and do something. Call 1-866-FAST-TRAIN.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
Someone, come on.
He was trapped in ice, stood atop a pole, and lived in a plexiglass box. Now, master illusionist David Blaine faces his greatest challenge ever.
Come on, man. I gotta get in there.
It's David Blaine on the can. Trapped, alone, in the claustrophobic confines of the downstairs half bath near the laundry room.
Dave, I really need to get in there, man.
David Blaine on the can. With only a glass of Metamucil, a nearly empty roll of Charmin, and a 5-month-old Sports Illustrated.
Dave, come on, dude. The turtle is poking his head out.
Don't miss the exciting conclusion of David Blaine on the can, when David finally emerges from his fortress of fecal matter.
All yours, man.
Come to think of it, I don't have to go that bad. See you later.
David Blaine on the can. It might be a pile of dung, but it's still better than all his other pointless stunts.
10:18 at 560. Ever go to a public restroom and you have like really urgent and you don't have time to look and make sure that there's a reasonable amount on the roll?
Oh, yeah.
And you sit down and you're already in mid...
Yeah, you're committed.
Right. And no, not just committed, you're already like... And you look at the roll and there's like enough, maybe like 2 sheets.
If that.
Yeah, like one, like it's at the, you see the cardboard. Once you see the cardboard, you know it's not a good sign.
Yeah.
And at that point, you start thinking about those Ruskies, man. That's the one good thing that they came up with.
What's that?
Besides vodka. It was like the Russian way of wiping your ass with like folding the toilet paper over like 100 times.
Oh,
that's the rumor. Maybe that's why some of them smell like that. Maybe that's why some get banished to Siberia.
I want to give you a kiss.
What is it?
The cardboard roll does come apart, you know.
Oh, yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah, it unrolls.
That's almost like wiping with Brillo.
Oh,
anyway,
anything.
here's 2 faxes now. One that says, I've listened to you daily since the mid-'80s.
Pharrell coming to this town is the enema this festering cesspool of a town needed.
In spite of the beast, it says, they hate the beast, and rightfully so. He does not belong on the air. As much as I enjoy you and share most of your views on life, I'm putting WQM on notice. If they keep twisting Scott's nuts or force him to leave town, I've had it with QM. If it weren't for pervs like me who enjoy frank, casual talk, Scott's audience would not be as large as it is. It wouldn't be as big as it is. And his audience either. Participated in the Columbus Day Regatta this weekend for the first time and saw Elvis. He was in a drunk and naked cruising around a party, an inflatable dinghy with Princess Leia also naked. Impeach Bush, fire the beast, it says.
All right.
We can go for both of those. Another one, it says, poor lard-ass Goldfarb. In detox for 30 days. Maybe he can have one of Noel's friends help him out with a special delivery, with a package. Huh? Maybe Pharrell can send him his package. Can't you just see him doing a cha-cha with Sarah and saying, juice, juice, juice? Yeah, I can see that. What have I always told you about the people who scream and point the finger the loudest?
Uh-huh.
They're always the one, and it's usually the right-wingers. I mean, not that we don't have plenty of perverts like me on the left wing, but it's usually the right-wingers are always pointing the finger. This one's a pervert. This one's a drug pusher. Jerry Garcia's another dead drug addict. Nice going, Rush, you hypocritical bastard, you. Look at the votes pouring in on this poll, man. They feel strongly about this fat tub of crap. What's your take on the Rush Limbaugh drug addiction study? In like 10 minutes, we got 71 votes, George. Maybe on a record-breaking pace.
All right.
I always knew he was full of Schmidt, 31.
I voted that.
Just like David Blaine. He's a big fat hypocrite, 24. I hope he never comes back, 6. I feel very sorry for him, 4. Here's the one I voted for. Hey, Rush, paper or plastic, 3. I'm still a ditto head, 2, and Rush is God, 1. Rush is God. I'd like to hear from those Rush defenders out there who'd like to rationalize, in addition to what you noticed, now, in the discussions I saw over the weekend, there was some of this crap about, well, you know, you really have to give him credit for coming to grips and admitting to the public his problem. He didn't come to grips with anything except all them packages. The only reason he finally came clean, so to speak, and went into this detox again is because the Enquirer outed him. The National Enquirer that Scott didn't believe in. My Bible. My heroes at the Enquirer. Nice going, boys. And so once he got caught with his deliveries down, that was the end of that. Before we get to all of that Rush stuff, and I don't want to spend more than 2, 3, or 4 hours on that today. Here's a call from Pompano. Hello.
Hey, Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
Just got back in from, unfortunately, 6 weeks in Connecticut, which sucks.
Oh, my God.
But listen, I got
That's
a
almost
George.
worse than 2 days in Jersey.
Oh, man. Two quick, well, one suggestion, one question. Neil, did your father pass away?
Yeah, a long time ago. Is this, oh, this is the guy from Friday again.
No. I swear, no. I didn't know. I didn't know that. My father passed away in August. I was listening to you in Connecticut, and I thought I heard something. I was like, oh, geez, I didn't know that.
You thought you heard what?
Huh?
You thought you heard what?
That you made mention about your father passing away.
I didn't mention anything about it. We had 2 crank callers, which you must have been one of them.
No, I swear to you I wasn't.
Tell us about your father. He's been dead for like 2 or 3 years. Who the hell knows him?
No, so I swear to you, I did.
Now,
Here,
next point.
Regarding about hypocrites for a future poll. Who's the biggest hypocrite? Like you talk about Rush saying about Jerry Garcia and this and that, and you're right.
He's the same guy.
In the future, no, it's not. In the future, George, it's Danny from Atlanta.
Yeah. Same asshole. MPs get their hooks into trying to sound very rational, and he was in Connecticut for 6 weeks. You're full of crap. You were calling us Thursday and Friday with the same daddy crap, whatever the hell it was. You need mental help, sir. Why don't you get some help? Here's one of the ditto heads, okay, who's trying somehow desperately to come through the back door, if you pardon that expression, to defend his hero, to defend Rush. So remember I told you, Scott, we were getting the ditto heads were like coming unglued since I read that story from the Enquirer about 10 days ago?
Yeah.
Coming unglued. And now that he's out of the pill-popping closet, man, That are really having a nervous breakdown. MPs get their hooks into prostitution laws. Canada could scrap its outdated prostitution laws in a bid to better protect the health and safety of sex trade workers. How do you like that, eh?
Oh!
A group of MPs has quietly launched a study that could bring changes to the criminal code, including wiping out the section that outlaws soliciting sex for cash. Regulating the industry could also be part of the legislative overhaul. Liberal MP Hedy Fry, who is chairing the Commons Justice and Human Rights Subcommittee, said no formal study on issues has been done in 18 years. In 1985, the Fraser Committee concluded that Parliament should legalize communication for sex and regulate the industry. The aim is to curb the harsh effects on communities and to end the exploitation of invisible women who work the streets. Get them off the streets and clean it up. How do you like that? And a panel of MPs will seek input from academics and experts. Will also conduct outreach work. They're going to be reaching out and grabbing it. Traveling to destinations for on-site input from street workers in Canada and places like Amsterdam, where prostitution is legal.
All right.
How do you like that? It's very important for us to talk to sex trade workers who may not want to come here to communicate, Fry said. So there you go. Just one more example of this country taking gigantic leaps and bounds in the future, at least in the future for the Western Hemisphere, as opposed to certain other countries, I don't want to mention no name, that continue taking big, gigantic leaps back into the distant past, like that last asshole with his father died. Here's Hialeah. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
On Friday, I was listening to the Snitch Show.
Yeah.
Well, someone has to. And if you would have heard how the callers were calling in and saying, well, was it such a big deal? You know, they were rationalizing what happened to Rush.
Mm-hmm.
And then Todd was saying, well, maybe this has helped Rush because it could have saved him. It could have kept on consuming drugs and it could have died. And
yeah.
I was like, okay, whatever.
I say God bless the National Enquirer, man. That's what I say.
All right, Neil.
And have a great day.
There are heroes.
Yeah, the National Enquirer is where the God business is. They really have got the balls. 126 votes. What's your take on a Rush Limbaugh? 126 votes? Are you following this?
That's astonishing.
This is shocking, man. I mean, we only just put the poll on there like about a few seconds ago.
About 30, man.
What's your take on a Rush Limbaugh? And I will give the whole thing for anybody that's been, like, wrapped up in more important stuff like ball games, things like that over the weekend. A lot of big ball games, a lot of pressure. Dolphins beat a girls' team again yesterday. Nice going, Patriots, baby.
Oh!
Kind of a slow, rocky start there, but they crushed the Giants. Rush Limbaugh, he's a big, fat hypocrite. 57 of you say that out of 140. I always knew he was full of Schmidt, 48. I hope he never comes back, 14. Hey, Rush, paper or plastic, 8. I feel very sorry for him, 6. I'm still a ditto head, 5. And Rush is God, 2. I can't do it as good as he does, yo.
Who does?
Why should I have to do that? Right. When he's all worked up into a frenzy. Well, he's a little bit on edge, you know what I'm saying?
See, if you pop some oxy,
He's
you
waiting
can
for
do
that
like
next delivery. Just calm down, Rush. Aren't you impressed by that?
I love it.
That took me at least 30 seconds to put that together. 1026 at 560 WQM. Hey, if you're big and fat and you don't have a lot of pills to pop, to lose all that weight in a very short time, here's the answer for you. Talk about healthy. Balance for Life is the way to do it because they use the best, freshest ingredients. You'll be amazed the first time you open your little black sack. Wow. You'll look inside there and you'll see 5 meals, 2 gourmet meals, and 2 delicious snacks in your black sack. And they deliver your sack to you every morning by 6 a.m., wherever you want them to deliver it. And in there is enough food to keep you happy and full and satisfied and healthy all day long. You'll start seeing the weight melt off on that scale within just a matter of days. So if you're frustrated, if you're sick and tired of walking around waddling instead of walking, if you're really out of shape, lethargic, if you're diabetic or on the verge of it, trust me when I tell you, diabetes ain't no fun, man. It's a bad, bad way to go. And don't forget, Balance for Life is the only company that lets you choose between 2 choices for each meal every day that you're on a program. Every day, every week at least, you fill out the menu, you choose whatever you like, and you fax it back to them, and that's exactly what you get. No calorie counting, no carbohydrate counting, no worries, no shopping even, just your little black sack and a big smile on your puss, and good news on the scale within just a matter of days. Call Balance for Life today, and I guarantee you by the first day you finish, you'll look better than the beast already. Call 954-568-3229. 954-568-3229, or check them on the wicked World Wide Web at balanceforlife.com.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Bang you in the butt, honey.
This is Rush Limbaugh, servant of humanity, talk show host, hemorrhoid sufferer.
Folks, at over 300 pounds, I know the agony of this kind of dilemma. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you there's help. With new Preparation Rush and my Rush to Excellence suppositories. Now you can end the pain and itching of hemorrhoidal tissue. Just look for my picture on the box of suppositories and the applicator tube. Another fine product from OIB, the Obesity in Broadcasting Network.
Nice going, Rushy. 1031 at 560. So they're going to have people fill in for like at least the next 30 days because he's going to rehab. We'll get to all of that in time. 183 votes on there, man. It's just pouring in. Can you believe this?
It's exciting.
A spectacular response here on a Monday morning. Maybe that's because a lot of people are off from work today. It's Columbus Day and it's Canadian Thanksgiving, eh? So it's kind of a holiday. How is the, like a lot of kids aren't in school, right?
Sure they are.
They are? On
in
Columbus
Broward,
Day?
Anyway. What the hell was he? Stupid wop.
It was Queen Isabella, Spick, was the one who was responsible for sending him over here to savage all the Indians.
See?
At any rate. He was a silly savage is what I heard. The Ninta, the Pinta, and the Cinta Marinta. Don't forget about that.
I won't.
That's what my 6th grade teacher, Miss Helfer, used to.
No
that
way.
was her name.
You're making that up.
And I say, who you be? I beg your pardon?
She didn't say it that way.
I said, who you be? And she said, Helfer. I said, boy, that sounds like a good name. Rush Limbaugh, recipient of the first annual Bill Bennett Hypocrisy Award by Center for the American Progress. I love this. In light of Rush Limbaugh's admission that he has a drug addiction, please see how harshly Limbaugh has lambasted drug addicts in the past. This unprecedented and astounding display of hypocrisy earns Rush the first annual Bill Bennett Hypocrisy Award. Oh! Bill says don't bet on it. Yeah. But if you don't, he will. No, I was just shutting something off back here. No, I told you, I just should announce that to the audience who think that I'm pretty stupid about computers, which I am, and most other things too. For a long time, I guess 2 years now since I've been here, doing some of my shows here, that there's no sound card in my computer, and as a result, I can't get no audio from it. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess come to find out that every computer pretty much has a sound card.
Pretty much.
But you know what really helps when you want sound to come out?
Yeah, I know, when you plug something into it.
Yeah, they're called speakers.
Oh,
yeah.
hey.
Concept. What a freaking concept. So not only do I have my nifty speakers here, which work like a charm, but also I got that real audio thing going.
Really?
Unfortunately, it doesn't come through the board here like it does there, but that's the way it goes. Anyway, getting back to Rush and the first annual Bill Bennett Hypocrisy Award, 8/11/95, Rush on Jerry Garcia. He's another dead drug addict. Then here's another one from the Rush Limbaugh Show, October 5th, 1995. There's nothing good about drug use. We know it. It destroys individuals. It destroys families. Drug use destroys society. Drug use, some might say, is destroying this country. And we have laws against selling drugs, pushing drugs, using drugs, importing drugs, and the laws are good because we know what happens to people in societies and neighborhoods which become consumed by them. And so if people are violating the law by doing drugs, they ought to be accused and they ought to be convicted and they ought to be set up.
Yes.
What this says to me is that too many whites are getting away with drug use. Too many whites are getting away with drug sales. Too many whites are getting away with trafficking in this stuff. The answer to this disparity is not to start letting people out of jail because we're not putting others in jail who are breaking the law. The answer is to go out and find out the ones who are getting away with it, convict them, and send them up the river, too.
Okay.
October 5, 1995 said Rush. How do you like that? Send them up the river is what he said, which he ain't going up no river. Exactly. Here's another one. What's the date on this? 9/23/93. I want to let you read along with me from a quote from Jerry Colangelo about substance abuse, and I think you'll find he's very much right. I know every expert in the world will disagree with me, but I don't buy into the disease part of it. The first time you reach for a substance, you're making a choice. Every time you go back, you're making a personal choice. I feel very strongly about that. What he's saying is that if there's a line of cocaine here, I have to make the choice to go down and sniff it. And his point is that we are rationalizing all this irresponsibility and all the choices people are making, and we're blaming not them, but society for it. All these Hollywood celebrities say the reason they're weird and bizarre is because they were abused by their parents. So we're going to pay for that kind of rehab, too, and we shouldn't. It's not our responsibility. It's up to the people who are doing it, and Colangelo is right. We've got more right after this on the Rush Limbaugh Propaganda Hour. Just calm down, okay? Pop another one. That's it. Just calm down. Out of control. Anyway, in case you missed this story because you were obsessed with you out there panhandling for money to buy Marlin tickets, conservative commentator Rush Limbaugh announced during his radio program on Friday that he's addicted to painkillers and is checking into a rehab center to break the hold this highly addictive medication has on me, is what he said. He said, I've always tried to be honest with you and open about my life. He said during a stunning admission aired nationwide. So I need to tell you today that part of what you've heard and read is correct. I'm addicted to prescription pain medication. Immediately following this broadcast, I'm checking myself into a treatment center for the next 30 days to once and for all break the hold this highly addictive medication has on me, he'd be saying. Limbaugh gave up his job as ESPN sports analyst October 1, 3 days after saying on the Sports Network Sunday NFL Countdown that Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Donovan McNabb was overrated because the media wanted to see a black quarterback succeed. The reports of possible drug abuse surfaced at about the same time, first in the National Enquirer.
All right.
The tabloid had interviewed Wilma Klein, who said she became Limbaugh's drug connection after working as his maid. She said Limbaugh had abused OxyContin and other painkillers. Law enforcement sources who spoke on condition of anonymity confirmed to the AP, I used to shop at the A&P, that Limbaugh was being investigated by Palm Beach County State Attorney's Office. At the present time, the authorities are conducting investigation. You know what this reminds me of?
What?
And they actually showed it on one of the Talking Head shows yesterday. They show Arnold sitting there with a straight face, I think talking to Brokaw about, well, after the campaign is over, after the campaign, then I can examine what these issues are and then look into them. I mean, as if to say he doesn't know whether he did these things or not. He's going to investigate them. Kind of like O.J. investigating who murdered his wife and her buddy. Kind of like the same thing, don't you think?
Well, why would you say that? He's looking right now.
I just got through saying it. Limbaugh said he started taking painkillers some years ago after a doctor prescribed them following spinal surgery. His back pain stemming from the surgery persisted, so he said he started taking pills and became hooked. I thought he just got through saying in that quote I read from him that you make the choice yourself.
Right.
Is that what he just said?
That's for other people.
That when somebody puts a few lines out and you decide to snort it up your freaking nose, that it's your doing. Isn't that what he just got through saying? Don't do as I do as I say. That's what it always is, especially from the super moralists out there, the finger pointers, the skeleton in the closet rattlers. That's what we're talking about. Over the past 7 years, I've tried to break my dependence on pain pills and, in fact, twice checked myself in a medical facility's attempt to do so. I've recently agreed with my physician about the next steps, is what he said. Of course, he didn't mention the timing of his departure is just coincidental with the big expose in the Enquirer, which I just coincidentally happen to have in my hand right now. Like I said, the new one, October 21st issue, Rush's Diary of Addiction, the secret drug tapes, his other pill suppliers, drug abuse suspected of causing his deafness, which I was the first one to tell you about that. Wasn't I the first one to tell you? You bet your sweet ass.
Uh-huh.
Once we got that story from the Palm Beach Post and put 1 and 1 together and got 3.5, then we had a pretty good idea. And speaking of numbers, take a look at that response on his poll here, man. Oh. Can that be for real?
Yes.
Oh, they hate you, Rush. 234 votes in about 25 minutes. I've never seen anything like this. We got a shot at the record today, you know what?
All right.
Because we're only doing this one poll today. This isn't one of those where we're like splitting in half. I bet you Eric is happy about that.
We all are.
Eric?
Uh-huh.
He is headed, that's the way it goes. Tomorrow we'll do 3 to make up for it. 234 votes. What's your take on Rush Limbaugh's drug addiction story? He's a big, fat hypocrite. 100. I always knew he was full of Schmidt, 73. I hope he never comes back, 27. Those aren't 3 very positive categories. And hey, Rush, paper or plastic, 13. I feel very sorry for him, 9. I bet you Robert Grieper voted on that. Who's too much of a pussy to have worked this morning. He didn't work, huh?
No.
No, because he had to work over the weekend, some ball game crap. Meanwhile, R. Scott Jr., as much of a knucklehead as he is, he was there till 1 o'clock in the morning because they schlepped him in there for a ball game that never got played last night, and he's back again here, doing nothing.
A glutton for punishment.
A glutton for punishment. I feel very sorry for him, 9, including, I'm sure, Robert Grieper. Rush is God, 6, and I'm still a ditto head, 6, out of 234 votes. So those positive categories there add up to a whopping 8.8%, as opposed to the other 91.2% that say, F him, Zimbalist Jr. 20 to 11, 10:40. Now let's take a look at the agenda today. We do have a Panther-Carolina Hurricane game tonight. Any interest in that? Scott would probably go to it in Carolina, wouldn't you?
Sure.
Big hockey fan, man. He's on that Panther bandwagon. We love the Panthers, the youngsters in the organization. Yeah, he's spouting all the right propaganda. Anyway, we got Mad Dog at 2. The Humper's on from Shula's 4 to 6:30. It was going to be till 7, but he said he can't do 3 hours on Columbus Day. So Hank's 4 to 6:30, 2.5 hours. Then we got the Panther preview at 6:30. The Panthers at Carolina to play the Hurricanes, who really suck. 7 o'clock tonight. That should be 2 more points. At least they're going to get off to a good start, I think. Eddie K follows the hockey game, and Joe and Mark overnight with their prestigious lowly touted show. And speaking of lowly touted, don't forget Ratings Thursday, George.
I haven't forgotten.
1 p.m. this Thursday, man. That's when the Schmidt's going to hit the fan. That's going to be a really, really big book. And, well, you got a lot of responsibility next week because I won't be around. Duty. When those hours by hours come down. And, of course, I'd hate to be the one who has to face Mo when you realize that out of that 6 share in the morning in men, Pharrell had like a 10 and Mo had 2.
Absolutely.
Something like that. It's going to be pretty embarrassing when they get the hour by hours, Mo. 19 to 11 at 560 WQM. If you're looking for a really great new place to try for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, how about Vic and Irv's from my old hometown, Rochester, New York, home of the Lilacs and really brutal weather, and home of the 12 Corners in Brighton. Vic and Irv's has been around since 1934. It's legendary. And when you try it, the one in Fort Lauderdale, you'll understand why. It's on Federal Highway, just south of the Broward Boulevard and the tunnel on the east side, the Broward Boulevard. That's like the Dixie Highway. Vic and Irv's is a flashback in time to what restaurants used to be before these fabricated fast food joints, these prefab joints. Go and enjoy a real burger or hot dog served hot, fresh, and fast. And the good news is that Vic and Irv's is being brought to South Florida by the same folks who feed you Cheeseburger, and Vic and Irv's is using the same fresh 100% ground chuck meat as Cheeseburger, and offers you an incredible big fat one, a quarter-pound hot dog. And burgers and dogs all served with Vic's signature meat sauce poured on top, giving you a combination of flavors that'll do a Kazatsky right in your puss. Available no place else in town either, believe me. If you're looking for something really sensational, this is the place, Vic and Irv's. They got lots of other great dishes, too, including a gigantic breakfast menu. You have omelets cooked to order, French toast, pancakes, all your favorite side dishes, too. So whether you're from Rochester or Rondequoit, whether you're from Hunger, no matter where in the world you're from, you'll love this place, Vic and Irv's. They're on Federal Highway, just south of Broward Boulevard and the tunnel on the east side. And tell them that old Neil Rogers from OK Terrace sent you by.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
New from Mattel.
Oh no, my Barbie's bleeding. I better get some gauze.
It's the violent crime victim Barbie. She's not too happy after being accosted on the street, and she needs you to cheer her up.
I know what'll make you happy, Barbie. We'll go for a drive in your new Corvette. Oh, I forgot. You can't work a clutch when you've been shot in the leg.
She's the same old Barbie, but she's been shot twice. Both in the leg, and now she's paying the price. Salem's got off with a slap on the wrist. Look out, look out. Barbie is pissed.
Now, you and Barbie can play in real-life situations. Barbie has given up her dream house and motorboat for subsidized housing in a rent-control apartment. And on her way to the laundromat, Barbie gets mugged.
Ooh, that's a nasty wound you have, Barbie. It's okay. Dr. Ken will take care of you.
The violent crime victim Barbie. Crutches, leg brace, and wound dressing all sold separately.
10:45 at 560 WQM. Happy Columbus Day. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving, And all the other good things, too. Don't forget the lovely Miguel. He'll be in the QM van somewhere very shortly between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m.
I'm sure he's on his way.
163rd and US 1. There's something there. There's like an intersection, you know? There's like cars and
bars,
traffic light,
whores,
cars and bars and churches and all kinds of crap, sluts. And he'll have the Best of Neil CD 2002-2003, the Mo Howard David keychain. Some of those Jim Mandich leftover keychains from 2 years ago.
All right.
That went like hotcakes. And whatever else you want, he's got it. No free tickets, though. And being a holiday, being Columbus Day, and a lot of people not working today, and the kids being out of school not. So there's no excuse for people not showing up and coming through with a lot of cash for a Bandit Pet Rescue today. Now, I'm sure, being how it's a Monday, and the beginning of a brand new week, you've probably got like a whole stack of envelopes with checks in them from the people around the building for a Bandit Pet Rescue. Don't you?
Sure, yeah.
Duff Lindsay, he's the only one I think so far has come through for us. Am I leaving anybody out?
Nope, that's it.
From inside the building?
That's it.
No. And by the way, P.D. Lenny, even though you don't work there anymore, instead of sending me a couple of stupid faxes, you could have sent by a check for a Bandit Pet Rescue, you cheap Jew bastard. By the way, we got another dead American soldier in northern Iraq.
It's worth it.
Every single day, they're dying over there. A trio of attacks on U.S. troops in northern Iraq left one American soldier dead, 5 others wounded, the Coalition Public Information Center said today. One soldier was killed, another was wounded near Baji, north of Saddam Hussein's hometown of Tikrit, when their Bradley fighting vehicle hit an anti-tank mine while on patrol around 7:45 last night. The Bradley was destroyed in the incident. 2 other attacks involving improvised explosive devices left 4 other soldiers wounded, the U.S. military said. Also, there's another story in here about the suicide rate in the Army over there, which is pretty alarming. I just mentioned it in passing.
I have no idea.
We'll get to it maybe or not, all depending on how much time we want to spend on Rush.
You can intersperse.
I'm going to intersperse. I'll intersperse like a call or two here or there because they're so good lately. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
One of the other angles nobody's talking about this Rush thing is that he grabbed and kissed this woman and groped her and all that stuff he said about Clinton and Paula Jones. And
Yeah, but he was just searching for bugs.
yeah, it's...
Maybe she had a bug up her
bed lice.
and so I'd like to see all the quotes on that because he talked about...
Hey, he's holier than us, pal. What have I told you? The ones who say I'm holier than you are, they're the real, they're the ones you ought to be running and calling the goddamn police.
And he seems to be able to play golf pretty good with his cronies, with bad back problems.
Just like OJ with his bad knees. Isn't it amazing?
Yes, he seems to be able to you know, if Bush calls, he's right there to with his bad back problems and pill popping. It's amazing. So.
It's a great day for the Italians and all the rest of us too, pal. Have a great one. Not that we want to pile on, do we?
Yes.
You bet we do, man. Brother. There are fewer people I can think of that we'd like to see in a scandal and disgrace than this pompous, self-aggrandizing, finger-pointing asshole, lying piece of crap. That book, that's another book I'm going to go out and get. I got so damn many books, I don't know when the hell I'm going to have time to read them. I got a half a dozen now stacked up.
Lots of
The
crap
David
between now
Corn
and then.
book, I got the Al Franken book. The Al Franken, Rush Limbaugh's a Big Fat Liar, isn't that the name of it?
That's it.
You ought to get that too. Now's a good time to be reading it. As he just tears apart piece by piece, many, not all certainly, because nobody's got a book big enough for that. They have to have an encyclopedia of the lies and distortions and bullcrap that he spews to all those idiotic ditto heads. Oh, whatever you say, Rush. Well, Rush said this. Oh, I'm sorry, Neil. I'm listening to Rush. Those people need help. Those people need serious, serious help. And so do their Dobermans, too, by the way. We got to get abandoned pet rescue to save all those Dobermans that are being entrapped by those ditto heads.
Dobermans are out. It's pit bulls now.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Does that make them more macho?
Oh, on our program, they'll be taking your questions, asking for your comments. You see the toll-free number. Call us starting at noon Eastern, a little bit more.
Yeah, they just showed his fat ass on there again. It's not quite so fat ass, because when you pop all of them pills, you know, you don't have time to eat when your mouth is full of pills all the time.
He's eating pills.
Now, what in good... This is unbelievable. This man will not stop. Norma Kent will not stop. At least it's not a phone call. It's a fax, okay? He says, for what it's worth, if Rush is found to have illegally... See, this is a man in search of attention and an audience, Norma Kent. Now, he would tell you that he's just trying to pass along some good legal information. Okay, Norma, thanks a lot. And don't have that your boyfriend's calling here no more. My ex-boyfriend. Well, if you only do somebody twice, is that a boyfriend?
No.
For what it's worth, Neil, if Rush is found to have illegally acquired thousands of pills and subsequently gets criminally charged with OxyContin or oxycodone trafficking, he would be facing a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 years in Florida State prison under drug laws imposed by his dear friend Jeb Bush. But you know that's not going to happen.
No.
It says it doesn't matter if he's just the user of the illegal prescriptions, whether he consumed or purchased illegal quantities, he could be criminally prosecuted for trafficking, and it could be the prison and broadcasting network. It could be Rush Limbaugh and Jazz McKay. Signed by each. Wouldn't that be great?
I love it.
Rush Limbaugh and Jazz McKay, all jailbirds all day on whatever, you know? That sounds like a good cheap format.
I like it.
So thanks a lot, Norma, for the information. Here's our best of Neil total, pretty weak, 31,245. Thank you, Miguel, or whoever faxed this. I guess it's Miguel.
Well, he handed it to me and I faxed it.
He handed it to you?
Mm-hmm, and the fax too.
Okay, I'm going to tell you one thing.
Yeah.
If we don't raise some serious money there today, or wherever the hell he's going to be between 11 and 1, when I come back to town, the word is that he's going to force me to lick his privates, is what I'm hearing.
Oh.
Best of Neil total, 31,245. And even if we do raise some money, at any rate. So here's the new Inquirer. Where the hell do I start? You know it?
Top left.
Well, let me take another call or two, because once I get rolling on this, you know, just like CCR, rolling.
Rush was rolling too?
Oh, papers, yeah. Here's Fort Lauderdale. This could be the one. Fort Lauderdale, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes,
I was
sir.
going to ask you, what about Al Franken's admitted cocaine use, you fat bastard, scumbag piece of shit?
Al Franken ain't pointing the accusatory finger. No. That's the difference, asshole. With a big potty mouth.
And did Al admit it? Or was he busted?
Yes. Don't you love the way that these people respond like a cornered rat? They like that. Well, too bad.
He admitted
We're not
it.
talking about Al Franken or anybody else. We're talking about your big hero now. Mr. I'm holier than thou and better than everybody else. Mr. ripping everybody in the goddamn world, but I'm pious and I'm this and I'm that. You're full of crap is what you are, man. You're a lying, hypocritical sack of crap who probably doesn't believe 95% of the stuff you've been spewing on the air all these years. You're right-wing, anti-human garbage. They can't deal with it, man. They're coming unglued. 304 votes. 304 votes. What's your take on the Rush Limbaugh drug addiction story? He's a big, fat hypocrite, 128. I always knew he was full of Schmidt, 102. I hope he never comes back, 34. Hey, Rush, paper or plastic, you spastic, 16. I feel very sorry for him, still 9. Rush is God, 8. And I'm still a ditto head, 7. Bring it on, all you ditto heads, man. Bring it on, all your sputum, man, all your crap. Here's another, let's see, don't forget another hypocritical aspect of the Rush man. It says one of the frequent objects of his bullshit is the dreaded left-wing back trial lawyers. Now, the first thing he does is hire world-famous attorney Roy Black to litigate his fat ass out of the ringer. Excellent point. The dude you wrote, this is from the dude I erroneously think is from Georgia as opposed to the actual asshole from Georgia. Hey, there's more than one asshole in Georgia. Just ask Ned Beatty. He's sore about it. So there you go. Thank you very much. They're whipped up to a frenzy about, but let's hear from them, all the ditto heads especially. We invite you to call and share. See, you know who that is, and you already got it on there. No, see, nobody in Data Broward calls on line 9, Scott. I know that comes as a great revelation.
I know.
Here's the chronicle. Yeah, there he is. Here's Boca. Hello.
Yo, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I just wanted to say that, that guy, Rush Limbaugh, he definitely should be charged with, trafficking, and I wonder how many hookers you probably killed already doing that.
Well, I would say probably
About 30, man.
How many hookers he killed? Yeah, let's take the Rush book about how the Clintons, take a page out of his book. Clintons killed all of them people that he fantasized about. In fact, now something just dawned on me. So now we find out why look at who's there.
And probably just said in the heat of the moment. And,
oh my God, the wimpiest man on the face of the globe, John Henry.
I must be crazy. I must be nuts.
About that brawl in Boston? That was really grotesque. Even George has probably seen about that, who hates sports like poison. You seen about it?
No.
But it just dawned on me that now the excuse for spewing all these lies and this bullcrap over the years is going to be because he was like, stoned off his ass. That sounds like a real good cop-out, doesn't it?
No, he's not going to say that.
Miguel, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at somewhere, 163rd US 1. Look for the QM van. We'll tell you exactly where as soon as he gets there and decides where he's going to be with our best of merchandise. And come by with some cash for Bandit Pet Rescue and try to make up for the cheap bastards I work with inside that building, who so far other than Duff haven't given me like that. Not even like a little sack of that. 314 votes, man. They're pouring in. And all the Rushies out there. Oh no. And then try to turn it around, this one is this, and George is that, and Neil is this, and Al Franken is taking it, he's doing it up the nose, and everybody else. That's not the point. We're not talking about everybody else right now, okay? We're talking about your hero, man, who's off the air for at least 30 days because he's in rehab now for the third time.
You turd.
Exactly. Here's Kendall. Hello. Kendall.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay.
Long time, second time, and I've been listening to you since I moved down here from Pittsburgh 68. Anyways, I'm a recovery dad, and I've been in recovery for almost 22 years. I am so happy that fat, hypocritical, lion sack of dog meat is going down, and he will never recover because he lives in a $30 million home. He has never hit bottom. He doesn't know what a bottom is, and that's what's going to happen to anybody that is so analytical and so intelligent and so pompous that he is. I've been sponsoring people for 22 years. I've seen them go back out and kill themselves, and he ain't going to do anything until he hits final bottom and ends up losing everything.
And let me tell you, when he hits bottom, we're all going to feel it. It'll be like a quake.
He is just so pompous and so full of himself, and it's just, it was a lovely day when I saw him go down. I mean,
it's made my whole month, I'll tell you that. It made my whole year.
As a recovering person, I would like to have a little empathy for him, but not this time.
In his case, I'll make an exception.
Yeah, this one I'll make an exception. I love you, and keep up the good work. I even love George most of the time, too.
Well, there you go. You're a hell of a guy. Thanks a lot, Pally. Even loves George.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
I'm juiced up right now.
Coming up tonight on Inside the Behind the True Hollywood Celebrity Music Biography Profile Story. They were a Danish band who poked fun at one of America's cultural icons. Hey, who said the Danish have a right to do that? They were Aqua. Singer Lenny Nystrom, who played Barbie in the band's famous video, spoke to us through an interpreter.
Yes, and even though we were quite popular at home, we once won a Danish Grammy.
Whoa, a Danish Grammy. Wonder what that award ceremony was like.
And dein winner is Aqua.
Thank you! Boo! But winning lame-ass foreign awards is not all Aqua is known for. They were also sued by American toy maker Mattel, who owns the Barbie trademark. A Mattel spokesman spoke to us through an interpreter.
Okay, he's saying, those how dare they things up with this, those holes. Barbie is ours, you Aqua.
But Mattel lost the case. A victory for Aqua. They spoke to us through an interpreter.
I believe that's nya 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 nya.
Aqua. Those wacky Danish. Do they even know we named a breakfast food after them? It's a big, juicy, sopping wet look at show business. Tonight, on Inside the Behind.
What was that, Freedom Fry? 11:02 at 560 WQAM. Anyway, here's our most chronic of all the faxers who ought to be paying a little bit more attention. Can you post the Rush quotes on a website? I'm giddy with happiness, thanks. It's already been on there. So if you go to our website and just look, it was over the weekend. Just the headline, it's a story from commondreams.com, .org, whatever the hell it is. Rush Limbaugh, recipient of the first annual Bill Bennett Hypocrisy Award. That's the headline you're looking for. It's on there. Along with other good stories, including the one from Newsweek, which I have in my hand right now. I don't know where the hell to start, you know what?
Top left.
Because I got the Inquirer thing, I got the Newsweek story, which, you know, people that poo-poo the Inquirer. Don't be poo-pooing the Inquirer. Anybody's got a brain out there, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, see? At any rate, 5670560, pound 560. Now, it's 11:03. Do we know where Miguel is? Do you know where your kids are now?
No, he ain't called yet.
He hasn't called yet? Well, how do we do an appearance from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. when it's 11:03 and we don't know where the hell he is yet? He's somewhere around by 163rd and US 1. He probably found the Big Daddies there.
Maybe he's inside getting loaded
There's
before
a
he
Big Daddies, Liquors, and Doers. Oh, now you're sending me car. Oh, look at this. That's cute. Got a bunch of donkeys. Donkeys all sitting with big smiles on their puss and high-fiving and slapping each other on the on each other's ass. Rush Limbaugh's a drug addict. That's right. A lot of people are in heaven today, baby. Look at the results on the poll. People are ecstatic because finally this big tub of gas, this big fat tub of baloney. Before anything else, though, before I forget, I do want to read that one story about his hearing. Because there were some people saying, oh, well, how do you remember that doctor that called in that one day? He said, oh, well, that's news to me. Well, like most South Florida doctors, and the common cold is probably news to them, too. His own doctors knew pills caused deafness. This is on page 37 in the October 21 National Enquirer, our Bible. The deafness that nearly ended Rush Limbaugh's career was almost certainly caused by his massive abuse of prescription narcotics, according to the latest scientific research from the experts who treated the talk radio titan. Incredibly, the prestigious group of ear doctors who gave Limbaugh a career-saving inner ear implant 2 years ago was also the first group to make note of the close connection between deafness and narcotics abuse. Patients who abuse combinations of the narcotic hydrocodone and acetaminophen could be causing the development of hearing problems and sudden deafness. Dr. Bradford Ress, a top Florida ear specialist who practices in Boca but who was not treating Limbaugh, told the Inquirer. That's the finding of the latest research, which came from the House Ear Institute in Los Angeles. It seems more than just a coincidence that Dr. Antonio de la Cruz of the same Dr. Antonio de la Celia Cruz of the same prestigious House Institute was the surgeon who installed a cochlear implant in Limbaugh's left ear in December 2001 to prevent total deafness. Do you hear me?
Huh?
Do The Institute's president, Dr. John House, first made the drug/deafness connection in March 2000 when he published a report in the American Journal of Otolaryngology. What? Otolaryngology, that's what it is.
Study of odors? Yeah, that.
With a T. Odor with a T, not odor with a...
Rotor.
Hydrocodone overuse was associated with rapidly progressive sensorineural, I can't say that. Sensory, because it doesn't look right. Sensory neural hearing loss in 12 patients. These patients can be successfully rehabilitated with cochlear implantation. But one of the most frightening aspects of the opiate-related deafness is that the process of going deaf doesn't necessarily stop when the drug abuse does, according to the reports. Some patients have retained some hearing if they stop using the painkillers immediately, commented Dr. House, but for the most part, the damage is already done. Once the process starts, it seems irreversible, is what he said.
Oy!
How do you like that?
Of course, huh?
So he's got his freaking cochlear implant, and my comment to him is Coxahoist. Oh, but Neil, we should all pray for Rush and hope for the best for a speedy recovery.
Him, all right.
To get him back on the air there right away instead of these bogus fill-ins they're going to have for the next 30 days. It's going to be really ponderous, you know what? I mean, what are the ditto heads going to do for 30 days? Here's a fax that says, couple of points. Whether these ditto heads like it or not, what they don't want to admit is that all this time he'd been high when he's on his throne, speaking to them. All of his wisdom with its moral high ground pomposity, all his right-wing talking points, which make up the basis of their personal politics, comes not from one who walks the walk. It comes one who's stoned off his ass on dozens of pills a day. And you are...
Absolutely correct, sir.
Oh, and here's another addendum on this fax. Good point. It says, I hope the Marlins don't win because the talk's already started again about a new stadium. If they win the division or, God forbid, the World Series, it'll definitely get that bullshit rolling again. Well, you're right. That's what everybody's on there just waiting for. This is just, but look at that. They've packed 65,000 people a game in there. Yeah, well, we'll see how long that would last. Yeah, but don't you find it amazing that when it's like a special event in South Florida, the sky's the limit? People have got all the money in the world, whether they're stealing, whether they're like selling crack to get the money. I don't know what they're doing. Did Miguel call and let us know where he is yet? What kind of an appearance is this again?
Maybe he's stuck in traffic.
Again. What traffic? It's a holiday. The kids are in school today. Aren't the kids in school today?
They're in school.
That's what I just said. Oh, I dropped a little one there and he bit on it. Oh, look at this. 2 more votes for 400 in less than an hour. This is
not 2 more.
We're breaking new ground on this show today. This is so shocking that even I can't believe it. 403. They're coming in chunks. You ready for that? Because finally, those of us who aren't part of this far-right, Bible-thumping, finger-pointing bunch of bigoted Neanderthal assholes, finally, we got the big fish. The big fat fish. Ever see a fat fish? Probably all that swimming keeps him from getting too fat. You know, stop and think about that.
Southwest corner, Exxon.
Oh, wait a minute. Southwest corner.
Exxon.
At the Exxon station. We couldn't find a triple X place, so we got a double X. That's the next best thing. At the Exxon station on the southeast corner of 163rd US 1. What, the what?
Southeast corner.
Southeast corner. Didn't you just get through saying southwest?
I was just repeating what he said.
At the southeast corner of Exxon and US 1.
Maybe he was turned around.
At the 163rd Street station. So there's where he is. Look for that QM van. You can't miss it even if you wanted to. And come up with some cash for abandoned pet rescue. And get your Mo Howard David a keychain, even though he's a schmuck.
Absolutely.
And all the other in our Best of Neil CD, etc. 403 votes in much less than an hour.
Gotta be a record.
I think we better head for the shower. Seriously, after seeing this kind of response, it's phenomenal. What's your take on a Rush Limbaugh drug addiction story? He's a big, big, fat hypocrite, 169. I always knew he was full of Schmidt, 129. That's probably about 40, at least 50 pounds of what he was carrying. I hope he never comes back, 49. Hey, Rush, paper or plastic? 20. Rush is God, 14. I feel very sorry for him, 13, which is not usually a very lucky number, unless Dan Marino's wearing it, or Matt Sundin. By the way, the Leafs suck. And I'm still a ditto head, 9. And I guarantee that one of those is Robert Grieper.
9.
Yeah. Probably voted 4 times. That's why he laid out. He stayed home today. So he could diddle away on his PC. He's diddling on it.
9
times. Nice going, Robert, you little quisling, you little closet case, you little professional yid, you silly person, you. Newsweek's got a big front page cover story. I'm going to have to go out and buy my Newsweek today, as a matter of fact, this afternoon. You going to get it?
Yes.
Because I know that some of the people out there, well, you know, the Inquirer, even though they may be right this time, but here's Newsweek, Well, I'm sure that a lot of those right-wingers would consider even Newsweek to be a commie pinko publication. Anything other than the National Review and whatever that new version of the Spotlight is, that anti-Semitic rag. I'm addicted to prescription pain medication. True confessions. Limbaugh built an army of admirers with his hard right rants, but off the air, he was a lonely man who may have broken the law to feed his addiction. The Real Rush by Evan Thomas in Newsweek. I'm saving that.
Oh, man.
What? I am.
No, I'm vibrating.
I'm piling on today, man, because he deserves it. If anybody in this country deserves being piled onto, it's that fat tub of crap. Lying, hypocritical sack of garbage. And his initial response, just like Arnold, we'll investigate when the campaign is over, when the campaign is... Yeah, right. After he gets in there, then he'll come out and say, oh, yeah, well, guess what? So I did these things, you know?
Too bad.
Yeah, so I'm a groper, and the Roper poll says I'm still in front. Because they love Arnold. See, the thing that the Bush people and these right-wingers don't understand is the public is pissed off, okay? I don't think that the majority of that crap had a hell of a lot to do with Arnold. The fact is that was anti-Gray Davis. They hit him like poison. And Celia Cruz Bustamante, they didn't like her singing.
It was all because of that driver's license thing that he signed.
That's what it was. Well, no, come to find out that even the Julios out there don't want all these illegals getting driver's licenses.
No, of course not.
They'd like to get to work sometime before midnight. Things like that. But here's the same crap. His initial response to this, you recall, back on whatever the days were when this expose came out. What was it, like Wednesday and Thursday? Well, and they show him on TV. This was, it was the week before because it was right after the Donovan McNabb, the ESPN crap.
Right.
Or was it last week? Was that
Monday,
last Sunday?
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Last week. No, see, time flies when you're having a good time. It was just last weekend that the thing happened with the ESPN pregame show. And then by midweek, that thing had blown up, and he got canned on Wednesday, pretending that he resigned, which he didn't. He got canned. And then right on the heels of that, here came the Inquirer. Bada bing. And I intend to fully cooperate with law enforcement authorities. I'm not aware of any investigation at this time.
I'll respond when I know what's going on.
Right. He's going to have to talk with a few people to find out what's going on. Probably talk to Wilma to see if the shipment came in yet. Yeah, that's who he wants to talk to first. Hey, Wilma, what do you got? Oh, I got to read. I just love these quotes. I love it, but we'll get to it. Am I all worked up?
Yes.
You bet. Piece of crap. 11th. Oh, look at this.
Drugs. How addictive is it?
Well, there's a lot of mythology surrounding these drugs. For a while, the thought was if you looked at these kinds of drugs, you'd get hooked. That was a problem because a lot of people didn't get these drugs who needed them. More recently, the mythology has been you could use these drugs without any risk, and these drugs do have an addictive potential. They can be abused, and they can be...
Contains a drug similar to morphine. Maybe it killed the pain of all that bullcrap he was spewing every day. 11:13 at 560 WQM. Hey, it's that time of the year again. All the bedding and the furniture stores come out with those phony sales. I just want to tell you right now, if you're buying a mattress from anybody beside Dollar Mattress, you're getting ripped off, you're a fool. If you don't want to be running all over town comparison shopping, if you don't want to waste all the time, gas, and effort, if you don't want to pay for somebody's big overhead, then do the smart thing like I do, and just about anybody with even a segment of a brain does, call Dial a Mattress, because they give you the best deal all day, every day, 365 days a year. For true discount prices on the top names in the business, Sealy, Serta, Tempur-Pedic, Simmons, King Coil, Stearns, Bananas, Foster. Call 1-800-MATTRESS. No BS, no phony sales, no house brands, no false promises, and you don't pay a premium for the best service going in the world, and they still do that 2-hour delivery window. You pick the window, and they jump right through it. They'll be there just when they say you want them between noon and 2, 1 and 3, whatever day, 7 days a week, they'll be there. And the hours you choose from 8 in the morning till 10 at night when it's convenient for you. You'll be sleeping like a baby the first night, like I've been for years on my Dial a Mattress. With low prices, same-day delivery, free setup and removal, it's easy to see why they're ranked #1 in the world in customer satisfaction. So don't get yourself sucked in by those mattress showrooms or furniture store ads. They're not in the same ballpark with Dial a Mattress. Call them today, toll-free. You'll be glad you did. Call 1-800-MATTRESS, 1-800-MATTRES, or check them out online at mattress.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Drudge packing?
I know that guys get lots of joy when every month they get their copy of Playboy.
Yes.
I put pins in my eyes so my vision was gone. Woman, girls should keep their clothes on. Woman, girls should keep their clothes on. They probably clothes on. All my girls should keep their clothes. They all have fat fun. When the working day is done, oh God, don't feel moron. All my girls should keep their clothes on.
11:19 at 560. We hate Walmart. We hate Rush Limbaugh. We don't hate too many people, right? We just hate a few select organizations and institutions and people who stand for right-wing crap. 453 votes. Are you believing that? In about an hour.
How about that?
This is shocking, man. 454. What's your take on the Rush Limbaugh drug addiction story? He's a big, fat hypocrite, 195. I always knew he was full of Schmidt, 146. I hope he never comes back, 53. Hey, Rush, paper or plastic, 21. Rush is God, 17. I feel very sorry for him, still that unlucky, 13. And I'm still a ditto head, 9. Says, of course, Robert Grieper.
9.
Right. You can be damn sure he voted on this. Is there any doubt?
No.
No. Bad news. You prepared for it?
Sure.
What happened to George? Is he out taking a crap again?
Perhaps.
Is he?
Sure.
No, seriously, is it my psychic premonition coming through again? George is taking a gigantic crap,
Well,
probably because he...
I'm sitting in here. I don't know.
And he's not sitting in there is what you're trying to say.
Yes.
Okay. At any rate, a former Miss America and wife of Lieutenant Governor Steve Henry struck a bicyclist with her car, killing the woman, police said, in Louisville. Heather French Henry, who was Miss America 2000. Remember her?
No.
Neither do I. Told police the sun was in her eyes as she was turning at an intersection last night and struck the 43-year-old woman who was crossing outside the crosswalk. Witnesses told police Henry had a green light at the time. Henry and her infant daughter were not injured. The victim later died at University of Louisville Hospital. She was not wearing a helmet. A bicyclist who was not wearing a helmet. I guess then she deserved it. Isn't that it? Isn't that what they're trying to say?
Sure.
So there you go. She's dead, and Heather French Henry. Is George back?
Oh, yeah, I'm back. Thank you.
Were you taking another crap?
A giant one.
Again?
I
think it's the Rush story. I think is like affecting a lot of our systems, man. We're getting a lot of crap out of our systems that's been pent up in there for all too long, right?
I had to rush to the bathroom.
And by the way, a bulletin, my father's still dead. I just got the information right now. We just double checked. He's still dead.
Wow.
So that one guy, the Rush guy that's coming apart, coming unglued. He's coming unglued.
Oh!
We love it.
Oh!
Oh, yeah. Rush Limbaugh's secret drug tapes. Here it is. Now I got it here. In fact, actually shows the cassette tapes. They could be just generic, or these could be the ones. For example, here's a couple of quotes. I'm hoping something will pop today. Let me know when and I can have some cabbage money. Let me know when I'll have some cabbage. I do like corned beef and cabbage.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like stuffed cabbage a lot, you know?
Yeah,
don't you?
No, I don't like cabbage.
You don't like cabbage?
Not cooked cabbage, no.
Make you fart your brains out, I'll tell you that.
Man, the stinkiest ones, too.
But at least it won't make your pee smell bad like asparagus. At any rate, housekeeper says, I wasn't the only one supplying drugs to Rush. Oh, how do you like that?
Wow.
As the beat goes on. Rush Limbaugh had at least 2 drug sources besides his housekeeper, the Inquirer has learned. The talk show host pressured one man into handing over pills prescribed for his wife after she'd had a miscarriage and scored painkillers from a stenographer with a broken leg, his former housekeeper Wilma Klein told the Inquirer exclusively. What is it? He was shameless. If he knew anyone who was suffering pain, he would try to persuade them to share their pills.
It's nice to share.
Right. As we revealed last week, Limbaugh 52 has been secretly battling an addiction to narcotics and caught up in a drug ring investigation in Palm Beach County, Florida. Wilma 42, who started working for Limbaugh in 1997, has told investigators that she supplied the radio giant with massive amounts of the addictive painkillers hydrocodone, Lorcet, and the highly dangerous OxyContin. But she said she realized earlier on that she wasn't his only supplier. How do you like that?
Yeah.
No, he was taking a pause there. He was popping. She found empty vials of liquid hydrocodone and pill packets that had arrived at his $24 million Palm Beach mansion by FedEx delivery. And you know how those FedEx people feel about sending pills through the mail. Oh, no. Now, what is this? Is this Dave the Cop is sending this? Please forgive the reduced size of the article, but Rolling Stone magazine prints on large sheets. Incredible article from Michael Moore's new book. I'm getting the book, okay, Dave the Cop? I don't need you to, stop already.
I would have canceled the fax, but I was in the bathroom.
Oh, no. And so Dave the Cop is wasting our fax paper?
Yeah.
Pages and pages of crap.
Stop sending
Stop
articles.
it, Dave the Cop, okay? George had to go plop, and you won't stop. Damn it. I'm going out and getting that this week, as a matter of fact. I got about, how many books have I got piled up there?
About 30, man.
I got to read yet. Anyway, going on here. Quit interrupting, Dave the Cop. The mansion's houseman told her that he, too, had been talked into giving the conservative icon some of his wife's painkillers after she had a miscarriage. How do you like that? He seemed disgusted with himself for having done it, told me that after a while he fibbed to Rush that his wife's prescription was finished so he could back out of the arrangement, she said. Once, while cleaning the bathroom in Rush's office, she overheard him on the phone in the other room begging yet another person for pills, she says. Wilma thought Rush was drug-free after he went through detox for the second time in 2002, but she learned differently this past December, she told the Inquirer. I got a call from a member of the staff at Rush's mansion, she explained. He told me about a stenographer who accompanied Rush to a conference. Before they left, the woman had a broken leg. She told Rush she was on painkillers. Well, you can guess the rest. While they were at the conference, Rush suddenly told her he had a migraine. Could he get some of her painkillers? When she agreed, he sent her back to the hotel to fetch them, and maybe a pail of water, too.
Dear Liza.
Oh, man. Oh, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's just tons of good stuff in here.
Don't tease.
And then we got the Newsweek story. Well, I got to do the break. Hey, Rush, we got to do the break, okay, sweetheart? We don't have, all day to, indulge you with all your pill-popping problems and all of these things. He is wound up, ain't he? Almost 500 votes. It's not even 11:30, George. Are you ready for this?
Wow.
We could top 1,000 during the show today.
Oh!
Probably the same three people. It's a holiday, you know. 493 votes. What's your take on a Rush Limbaugh drug addiction story? He's a big, fat hypocrite, 218. I always knew he was full of Schmidt, 158. I hope he never comes back, 54. Hey, Rush, paper or plastic? You spastic, 21. Rush is God, 17. I feel very sorry for him, 15. And I'm still a ditto head is up to 10. Robert probably voted again, don't you think? Yes. Robert Grieper. Hey, I got news for you. They don't come no creepier than Robert Grieper. Make no mistake about that. What a piece of crap. I think Joe Costello's right. It's time to fire his ugly ass. 11:27 at 560 WQM. If you want to replace that tired old carpeting in your home, here's a good piece of news for you. Laminates R Us give you the easy, low-maintenance choice, the alternative to expensive natural wood flooring. Laminates R Us is the best place to find laminated wood flooring from the top names in the world. They got them all. They got Peridor, Pergo, Wilson Art, Unifloor, and Quickstep. And all of Laminates R Us flooring is installed by people who really know their crap. Pergo certified installers. Here's another really good reason why you ought to be calling Laminates R Us and don't even think about talking to anybody else, because their prices are so low, so unbeatable, it'll probably floor you. Right now, get their fall special for just $1,495. What was that?
Did you say fall?
Oh. Their fall special for just $1,495. That's all it costs to get up to 295 square feet of beautiful laminate wood flooring. It is positively unbelievable, almost too good to be true, but it is. And Laminates R Us will match any legitimate written offer as well. If you'd like a free in-home estimate, no obligation, call Laminates R Us at that toll-free number and tell them that crusty, crabby old Neil, who doesn't pop drugs, but anything else he can, told you to call 1-877-777-3336. What could be simpler? They give you free carpet disposal, free furniture moving, a 25-year warranty, and years of beautiful, easy-to-care-for laminate wood flooring. Call Laminates R Us toll-free today at 1-877-777-3336.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. UAM.
Arnold is
Oh, embarrassing. It's 11:31. 1:31. God, I told you this thing was flying by. How's Miguel doing out there at the southeast corner of... Huh?
20.
He's got $20?
$20.
He's got $20 for abandoned pararescue? Miguel's at the Exxon station corner on the southeast corner of 163rd and US 1 with our best of merchandise. And so far he's got $20.
About 30, man.
No, not even that. Not even that. That's pretty embarrassing. Well, all I'm going to do is the best we can,
That's all we can do.
That's exactly all we can do. There's no sense in getting all rattled about it. The people out there are cheap as hell. They don't have any money. Although, look at that. The market's up again, I do believe, today, isn't it? Let me take a puke at it. Huh?
You said I do believe.
It is up. Dow is up 88. NASDAQ's up 18. That means everybody ought to be rich. Everything's okay.
All right.
Green light. No orange light, no red light, no green light. Spend like crazy. 523 freaking votes on the Rush poll. How do you like that? Shocking. Also, ABC, they got a pretty good website, ABC News, which I didn't usually pay too much attention to. They have a lengthy story in there about his hearing loss, and his personal physician was on Good Morning America this morning, and she said, bada beep, bada boop, bada bop, like that. Kind of like what he said last week. Well, I'm checking to see if there's an investigation. There's none that I'm aware of going on right now.
I'm checking to see if I can get out of this somehow. And
right, if we can get off the hook without opening up my mouth. And then Friday he's got the chutzpah to come out here and say, well, I've always tried to be honest with you, except, of course, for the last couple of days, and now I guess, my goose is cooked. So I'm going back into rehab to try to win the sympathy vote. It's like when Jimmy Swaggart. It's always these born-again right-wing assholes. They all pull the same crap, man. When they get caught with their goddamn pills down or their pantaloonies down, it's always the same crap. Oh, well, now you have to pray for me and I'm going to repent and all this other crap.
I have sinned against you,
right.
Lord.
Oh, good golly, Miss Molly. They ought to put them all in there with Jim Baker, huh? Put them back in the slammer.
Baker Act them.
With Pat Robertson. By the way, the State Department's pretty pissed off and fired up. We had that story on our website over the weekend about Pat Robertson. Oh, you weren't there on Friday.
No, what happened?
Yeah, he said that they ought to drop an atomic bomb on the State Department.
All right.
Yeah.
Way to go, Pat.
Well, because they're not into this militant right-wing imperialistic preemptive bullcrap. And so as a result, when in doubt, just blow them out. That's another good religionist for you. He even makes the Pope look good. Well, not too good lately. Rush Limbaugh's secret drug tapes in the National Enquirer. Desperate to feed a growing drug addiction, Rush Limbaugh left a slew of messages on his supplier's answering machine, seeking the powerful painkillers he craved. I want to see if I can restock sometime today, the brash radio pundit said in one message to his former housekeeper, Wilma Klein, who was admitted to supplying with the drugs. Late last year, it goes on about how she turned over the tapes, we know that. The Enquirer has obtained copies of Wilma's secret tapes and other blockbuster evidence, which is part of a multi-agency task force of local, state, and federal agents' investigation into Rush's involvement in a pill-selling drug ring. The shocking evidence forms and of course, keep in mind, this is all written before he made the admissions on Friday. In one tape message, Rush reveals his code name for money that he owed Wilma, Cabbage. The shocking evidence forms a diary of his addiction as he fed a habit so all-consuming that he took enough pills to kill an elephant, as Wilma put it. How do you like that, to kill an elephant? Leave a message if you have anything to report, Rush told Wilma in his blustering baritone voice. Let me know when and I can have some cabbage. I can get to the grocery store, the bank, that was his code for the bank, the grocery store, and get some. In the 4 years from 1998 to 2002 that Wilma says she supplied Rush with pills, the radio show host grew ever more anxious that drugs would be forthcoming. I'm hoping something will pop today, he says expectantly, in one phone message. Rush would set up meetings for drug deliveries by phone, Wilma disclosed. I can meet you at 325 at the old place on Jog Road, or someplace at 6:15 p.m., Rush says in one tape message. Jog Road. You notice how most of the nasty stuff comes, if not to Dayton Broward, to Palm Beach at least. Like that's where the Mohammed Atta was and a bunch of them lunatics.
SoFlo.
Palm Beach. On Jog Road. Jog on this, Rush. Couldn't hurt. As Wilma told the Enquirer in an exclusive interview last week, Rush would sometimes meet her in the parking lot of an Amoco station at Jog Road and the Okeechobee Boulevard in West Palm Beach, a 20-minute drive from his Palm Beach mansion. There, she and Rush would exchange Cuban cigar boxes,
embargo-violating piece of crap,
empties from Rush's stock of illegal smokes. His box contained his cash payment. Hers had sandwich bags filled with painkillers.
All right.
Rush was so desperate for drugs at times that he would leave phone messages on Wilma's machine just to remind her that he had emailed her request for pills. Her ledger of Ruth's purchases, which runs from July 2001 to June 2002, records deliveries of more than 30,000 hydrocodone, Lorcet, and OxyContin pills. 30,000. How many?
About 30, man.
1,000. And the deliveries came non-stop no matter what the occasion. Sukkot, Thanksgiving, Columbus birthday, you name it. Tisha B'Av.
Canadian Thanksgiving.
Right. Boxing Day. In the days before his 51st birthday on January 12, 2002, Rush was thinking more about popping pills than blowing out candles on a cake. I am leaving town next Wednesday and may need a restock on Tuesday if possible. Rush emailed Wilma January 9th. Wilma told Rush that by his birthday morning she may come across 100 of the little blues, the powerful OxyContin drug that addicts call hillbilly heroin. I'll grab all of them for you, and about how many big blues, code for the painkiller hydrocodone, for your departure, and how many for today aside from the others you be needing. Rush emailed back a huge order. Huge! 400 today, keeping 100 in reserve, another 300 to 400 for departure if the small blues come through, he said. Rush began to use his computer to place his drug orders. See, at least, I'll say it again, at least Hank is only talking to his bookie.
Right.
While the show is on, that's why he's got his cell phone. Rush was making calls in the middle of the breaks, doing drug deals. Arranging to pick up drugs later today in the middle of his goddamn show while he was sitting there pontificating and pointing the finger at this one, and the Clintons murdered all these people, and blah, 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 and all this other bullcrap. All these drug-addicted, commie, pinko, lily-livered assholes. Rush began to use his computer to place his drug orders after Wilma left her job as his housekeeper in July 2001. On December 19, 2001, Rush, facing deafness, underwent a cochlear implant operation on his left ear in Los Angeles. Judging from messages in the email diary, he apparently needed a lot more post-operative medication than doctors would normally prescribe. What a sense of humor the Inquirer's got.
Mm-hmm.
2 days before the surgery, a Monday, Rush emailed Wilma, Tuesday morning, this afternoon after 5, I'm leaving tomorrow afternoon for the rest of the week. Let me know, thanks. Wilma replied, short notice on hand, I have 200. What are you looking for after I get done with this email? I'll make a call, let me know ASAP. An additional 100 to 200 would do, Rush message back. Adding another email, don't need that many for the trip, 200 to 300 would be fine. Yeah, I mean, no, seriously. Stop and think about the numbers we're talking about here, okay?
I know.
It's always 300, 400.
Impressive.
Yeah, for the trip. 200 to 300.
Impressive. Most impressive.
Oh, wow. To be continued. Isn't that incredible?
Oh, man.
Rush Goldfarb, okay, I love it.
Everybody I know is a piker.
Is a kite? See, there it goes with that cool stuff again.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
McDonald's Happy Meal are made for adults. In your fries is a big surprise. Hope it's a dildo. With a dildo here and a dildo there. It vibrates, feels great, mixes up your shake. Great new McDonald's Happy Meals are made for adults. New McDonald's Happy Meals are made for adults. This one's prize is a piercing kit. First you try the nips with a nip clip here and a nip clip there. Then you prick on his tip everywhere a prick, prick. New McDonald's Happy Meal are made for adults. New McDonald's Happy Meal are made for adults. Between a bun should be a butt plug. I hope it won't be snug. With an ow, ow here and an ow, ow there. Here, KY, there, KY, I should let the guy try. New McDonald's Happy Meals are made for adults.
Okay, calm down. 16 till noon. This article by Rich Pachter about Bill Clinton and how Rush might spin it if Clinton were a drug. The only problem is, it's interesting, Rich, but the print is so small.
Yeah.
I could read it, but I'm not going to, I can't do it.
Get out your Magnavisions.
No, I can read it, but I'm not going to, it's not that good. Anyway, 554 votes. Not even close to noon yet. It's a quarter of. 554 votes. They hate you, Rush. They wish you would, have some horrendous, 500 and, what'd I say? 58. What's your take on the Rush Limbaugh drug addiction story? He's a big, fat hypocrite. 251. 251. 45%. I always knew he was full of Schmidt. 176. I hope he never comes back, 59. Hey, Rush, paper or plastic, 27. Rush is God, 19. I feel very sorry for him, 15. And I'm still a ditto head, 11. See, Robert Grieper voted twice since we mentioned it was 9. He was just embarrassed because they kept playing that number over and over again. Where the hell is it? Oh, see, Russia. Russia's still doing his thing.
9.
There you go. 15 till noon. I guess we can go back and I got to get this thing all straightened out here, okay? No, Rush. No, Rush. No, Rush. Don't do it, Rush. You're a young man, Rush. Okay, is he done?
Yes.
Okay, calm down. All right, now where the hell was I in the story?
In the middle.
Page 37 in next week's inquiry, October 21. Russia's left ear implant device was activated early. You know, I'm really curious about that call on line 9 that you say is inbred from Naples. Here's Naples. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Scott says you're an inbred.
I'm an inbred.
Well, that's
from
because you're in Naples,
right?
you know. Right.
Hey, just two quickie things on Slush 8-Ball.
Yeah.
Number one, if you go on the Freepers website, reading some of their commentary is a hoot. Some show prep for you. Number two, I actually was in the car with someone who heard the first, or who was listening to the first few minutes of Friday's Limbaugh show.
Mm-hmm.
And he was actually talking about how liberals are repeating that criminals cannot be rehabilitated. Boy, is that the pot calling the kettle black.
Well, let me ask you this. Did he make his announcement at the end of the show?
Yeah, I didn't hear the actual announcement until, after it happened. I heard this was in the first 5 minutes of Friday's show before
Right.
I refused to listen to anything any longer. But he was going on, and I think he was talking about Ray Horn and the tiger and everything, and he was making the parallel that like you can't tame a wild animal, just like you can't rehabilitate a criminal.
Wow.
Oh, boy, he's living in fantasy land,
Really something, and he just went into rehab for the third time.
So, you know what? It's just another example of hypocritical right-wing whack job. Great show. Thanks.
It's a beautiful thing, man. Have a great day. And Scott apologizes for being a schmuck. Just because the guy's from Naples doesn't mean he's inbred. In fact, you're a good one to be talking about anybody being inbred, Scott. Anyway, getting back to where I was. Rush's left ear implant device was activated early in January 2002, and he could hear clearly for the first time in months. Before that, he had been reading call-in questions to his show on a teleprompter. Remember those wonderful months?
Yeah.
When he was getting all of that press and all that sympathy. And, oh, gee, this is so terrible. Poor Rush. We don't understand it. On January 17, his brother David told the press he had spoken with Rush and proudly announced the radio host could hear him fine on the phone. Hey, Rushy, can you hear me? The drop is at 6 p.m. in a parking lot on Jog Road. Oh. Wilma was also concerned about her former employer's hearing and emailed him on January 22nd. Can you hear me, she asked. And Rush took advantage of her message of concern to stock up on pills. I love it. Is that great or what?
I love it.
Oh, look at that. See, I'm getting so carried away. I knocked it down on the audition line again. What, you only do like twice a year?
Don't
no,
knock
that's
it down.
okay. See, he just keeps coming back. We have just an unlimited supply of Rush.
Oh, by the way, $100.
Yeah. Well, that's something.
That's something.
We're up to $100 out there. Let's get going, okay? We got till 1 o'clock today. Let's make it worth Miguel's ride. Let's at least pay for the gas so we have something for abandoned pet rescue, okay? Left over at the end of the day. Our Best in Neil merchandise. Miguel is at the Exxon station on the southeast corner of 163rd Street and US 1 in prestigious North Dade with our Best in Neil CDs, our Mo Howard David keychains, which are...
Absolutely.
They are what they are, and our Mad Dog keychains, whatever else he's got. $100. Now, where the hell was I in my story before I interrupted myself? Oh, yeah, Rush took advantage of her message of concern to stock up on pills. Yep, I'll be able to hear you, he replied. Is there a reason for me to call you, say, after the show? In other words, and Wilma told Rush, only if you are in need. Only for small blue babies, said Rush, requesting a supply of OxyContin pills. At times, Rush peppered Wilma with requests for drugs and messages just minutes apart if she didn't respond immediately. Which means, I guess, he was running mighty low. When you get that message? That's what I would think. On November 8th, 2001, Rush was frantic that Wilma hadn't gotten a message about a drug delivery to his office in Palm Beach the next day, a message that she shouldn't wait in the parking lot, but come right up to his orifice. Ready for that?
Mm-hmm.
Bring that package right in here. Having trouble again getting confirmation from you. 7:30 is great, but go ahead and come in. No need to stay put. We'll make it quick and easier this way, he wrote. This is the third time I've tried to get this message to you after I was told you would be monitoring email. Can you reply and confirm? At other times, the emails from Rush are heart-wrenching. The messages of a lonely man in search of drugs on holidays like Columbus Day and Canadian Thanksgiving Day, when Wilma was away from home celebrating with family members. Are you around? Rush asked in a message he sent Wilma on New Year's Eve 2001. He got no reply. On New Year's Day, he again asked, are you around? The next day, he emailed, Wilma, you back yet? You back yet? God damn it, bitch. He was getting anxious. Shut up, Rush. He was getting anxious and sent the email a minute later. I am back, came the reply. What you got? Asked Rush. See, this is great because they're getting these from the tapes.
Mm-hmm.
What you got? On May 27, 2002, his 8th wedding anniversary, Rush wasn't just thinking about celebrating with his wife, Martha. He was worried that Wilma was getting fed up with having to lay out cash to buy pills from Rush from her supplier. He was building up a debt that Wilma said rose to $80,000 before a lawyer representing Rush paid her, adding $20,000 on top of his debt. The same lawyer later paid Wilma another $100,000. As Rush was falling behind in his payments, Wilma said he told her he had to be careful about withdrawing thousands of dollars from his bank accounts. In other words, it might raise like a few eyebrows and not look all that great.
Yeah.
Certainly my latest deposit helped, ? Rush told Wilma in an email message on his anniversary. Wilma replied, it helped, but my connection does not front me anything. It's no cash, no pills. I've been using my nest egg fund to cover your fat ass. Rush emailed back, how much do you need to get me another $300 total? It was a big order because at this time on his wedding anniversary, the radio legend had desperately decided he was going to beat his habit. He was scheduled for a 24-hour detox treatment in New York in mid-June, just 2 weeks away. A 24-hour detox treatment. For Rush, however, that meant he should do as many painkillers as he could before the poison. Would you let me finish this?
No.
For Rush, that meant he should do as many painkillers as he could before the poison was flushed out of his system. Just after noon on his anniversary, Rush emailed Wilma, the middle of June is my stop time, so it is not much longer. If you could keep these quantities coming, I would truly appreciate it. The next day, May 28th, Rush asked Wilma to supply a big order. Just 2 weeks to detox. I kind of want you to get out. I want to go out with a bang if you get my drift. He. He. On May 31st, Wilma told Rush she had a supply of OxyContin in 2 different sizes. Hi, I did a head count to get you through. Tuesday, 100 little blues and 50 80s. 80 milligram doses will work right. Rush was ecstatic. Oh, yeah. You didn't mention the 50 80s in your previous note. 100 little blues and 50 80s will be just great. You are a doll. Wilma lost contact with Rush after his detox treatment, but he still owed her money, so she kept emailing and calling to remind him of his debt. During his detox, Rush had other radio personalities sub for him on his show, like they're doing right now, claiming a bad stomach flu had taken him out of action. That sounds like a lie again, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You mean to say that he's lying?
Yes.
That when he was always making up these stories about the reason that he wasn't really there? On July 2nd, several weeks before Rush's attorney paid off the drug debt, the usually gabby radio host responded with a brief and final email to Wilma. I had a rough time and am finished for good. Many thanks for your concern. It was the second time since Wilma knew him that Rush had gone through the 24-hour treatment to rid his body of drugs. She knew the first treatment had failed. As I read that email, she told the Inquirer, I couldn't help wondering, had Rush really beaten back his demons for good?
No.
A source close to the investigation involving Rush told the Inquirer that Limbaugh has said he's going to cooperate with the probe. He has hired top criminal lawyer Roy Black, who successfully defended cousin William Kennedy Smith against rape charges. Investigators are interested in hearing about his relationship with Wilma Klein, what his side of the story is, said the source. They are especially interested in FedEx packages containing large amounts of drugs that Wilma and Rush received in addition to the pills she supplied, and want to find out where the packages came from, the source revealed. They want to check out his package. Investigators from the state attorney's office in West Palm Beach expect to file several more cases shortly as a result of the drug ring probe. This will result in several arrests. As a result of the Limbaugh connection to the drug probe revealed by the Inquirer, a number of people have contacted the Office of Assistant State Attorney Jim Martz with yet more information that needs investigation. This probe is far from over. It'll be followed wherever it leads, says the Inquirer story. How do you like that?
A lot.
Rush's diary of addiction, the secret drug tapes, his other pill suppliers, drug abuse suspected of causing his deafness, all of these things. For all those ditto heads out there, those suckholes, those idiots, those lemmings who just line up, hey, time to jump over the edge of the cliff with Rush. Of course, Rush would always say, you first. Seriously, these people are like the Jim Jones people. The only difference is that instead of Kool-Aid, he's eating like probably a lot of pasta. Although, again, he lost all of that weight because when you're popping 30,000 pills an hour, 100,000 pills a minute, you don't have time to be eating too much food.
Well, they're pretty filling when you're doing that many.
To fill in? What's your take on a Rush Limbaugh drug addiction story? We got 586 votes, and it's not even noon yet, George. This is Mark It Down. History in the making.
I'll mark it down.
He's a big fat hypocrite, 265. I always knew he was full of Schmidt, 186. I hope he never comes back, 61. Hey, Rush, paper or plastic, 27. Rush is God, 20. I feel very sorry for him, 16. And I'm still a ditto head, 11. Robert Creeper voted 9 times.
Sports Radio 560. QAM.
This is Mohammed and David, and the only thing funnier than rape is that pipe smokers 12 to 1 hour.
Saddam, what you gonna do?
What you gonna do when they come for you?
Yeah, we're at a code 2318. We've got a jumper on the roof of the Mohammed Savings and Loan Building here, and I'm trying to talk him down right now.
Everybody out of my way! I am going to jail!
That's our coffee. Give me that microphone.
Sir, you don't have to do this. Come on down and we'll talk this thing out.
Excuse me, Lieutenant. We were able to track down the jumper's mother.
Hello.
Am I glad to see you, ma'am. Here, look, take this megaphone.
Okay.
And try talking some sense into this guy.
Yes, I can hear you.
He can hear you, ma'am. Ma'am, did you just say Saddam?
Oh, yes, Saddam, yes.
Jump!
Saddam, what you gonna do?
What you gonna do when they come for you?
It's 12 noon. Look at that. We got 600 plus votes on a poll at noon, George. And 605, yes?
$200 at the site.
And we still got an hour to go. See, we'll make a little bit. We'll make gas money. Drug money. We can get some. Call up Wilma, okay? See how many Oxycontin she get us by 3 this afternoon. $200 for a bandit pet rescue. We got another hour to go. Southeast corner of 163rd and US 1. The QM van is there in the Exxon station. Miguel is there waiting to see you. He'd like to shake your booty. Well, I'd like to shake something. Anyway, getting to this Newsweek thing, which I don't want to read the whole thing because I don't want to pile on, do I?
Yeah.
Sure. But there's some interesting things in here. For example, about Wilma. She gave emails and ledgers to the cops showing that Limbaugh had purchased more than 30,000 hydrocodone. How many?
About 30, man.
Lorcet and OxyContin pills, the Inquirer reported. Law enforcement sources confirmed the basic facts of the Inquirer story to Newsweek. Limbaugh protested that the stories contained inaccuracies and distortions, but last Friday, his vast listening audience heard that resonant, righteous, morally certain voice admit that he had become an addict and was entering rehab. Limbaugh clung to the ideology of self-reliance to the last. I'm not going to portray myself as a victim, he said. Millions of pain sufferers who use powerful medications could sympathize, but the mockery was instantaneous. Liberal mouth Al Franken, author of Rush Limbaugh's A Big Fat Idiot, hit the airwaves to relish Limbaugh's greatest hits of hypocrisy and his sneers at celebrity dopers like baseball player Darryl Strawberry and rocker Kurt Cobain, and virtually every newspaper dredged up this 1995 quote from Rush. Too many whites are getting away with drug use. The answer is to find the ones who are getting away with it, convict them, and send them up the river. The penalty for illegally buying large quantities of prescription painkillers in Florida can be 5 years in jail, and contrary to some published reports, prosecutors do go after users as well as pushers, especially if they want to make an example of a celebrity.
All right.
The fall of a moralist is, it goes on about Elmer Gantry and about Bill Bennett. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. It's on our website, by the way, the Newsweek story. I'm addicted to prescription pain medication, and there's Rush scratching his head. Can you imagine all the, they must have wondered what the hell he was doing during the show. Well, maybe they were all onto it. Who knows?
Who knows?
All the people working with him. An off-duty Port Authority cop was arraigned yesterday on charges of videotaping an 11-year-old Queens girl taking a shower. This from the New York Daily News. Officer Russell Bass, 42, of Hempstead, Long Island, was tackled by relatives of the girl near their Jamaica home early Friday morning. He was tackled.
Great.
Oh, it was a big football weekend. The girl was showering just after 6:30 in the morning when she noticed a hand holding a camera in the bathroom window, which was partially open, said Patrick Clark, spokesman for Queens DA Richard Brown. The child alerted her household, and a family member went outside and confronted the defendant, who was standing in the backyard of the residence holding a bag, Brown said. The defendant fled on foot and dropped a bag containing a video camera and several video cassette tapes, which was recovered, Brown said. The girl's family chased the suspect down the street and caught him, an NYPD spokesman said. In the recovered camera, police said was a videotape of the girl showering. Bass, a Port Authority officer since April '88, who is now assigned to Kennedy Airport, was held on $75,000 bail yesterday. The girl's family doesn't know him and has no previous dealings with him. He was suspended without pay after his arrest. The suspect was touted as a hero in May of '97 when he spotted a 9-year-old boy with Down syndrome getting off a bus at a long-term parking lot at the airport. The kid was lost.
Oh, I see.
He found him.
Oh.
And he found the little girl in the shower. Bass was arraigned before acting Queens Supreme Court Justice Barry Cron yesterday on charge of conducting illegal surveillance. If convicted, he could face up to 7 years in prison.
Oh!
This is the first case of its kind in Queens County which establishes a felony for illegal surveillance, Brown said. The allegations are serious and disturbing and will be vigorously prosecuted. The alleged victim is a child whose privacy was crudely invaded, whose innocence has been shaken. Pervert cop in Long Island. How do you like that? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. I wonder who's filling in for Rush today. And I wonder if he did wait till the very end of that show. We'll find out, or maybe not, because now it is noon. Huh?
Pop it on there in Toronto.
It's not on here. We don't allow that crap here. Are you kidding me? Plus, do you think that I'm listening to the radio here?
No.
No. Never turned on my radio once. Here's Pompano. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch base with you on something. You know, it's really interesting how everybody wants, there are people who want sympathy for Rush, but like you're saying, this guy, has no compassion for anybody that is addicted or falls into hard times, and now we have to feel sorry for him. But another thing I want to touch base with you on, you made mention of the fact they may try to drum up a new stadium here for the Marlins.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting, but I watched some of the games this weekend, and I got to tell you, if it wasn't for the Chicago Cubs fans and the attendance, I don't think they would have sold out. I really believe about 25 to 30% of the fans were from Chicago.
Yeah, but when you say they wouldn't have sold out, we're talking 65,000 people.
Yeah, no, I know.
The sellout is like 38 or something like that. We're talking 65,000 where they had to open up these huge other sections of the ballpark.
But like I say, a good number of these fans were from Chicago. Let's face it. I mean, they were making as much noise as the Marlins fans, I think. And
I think so on Friday and Saturday. When I saw the game yesterday, it looked like mostly Marlins fans. I may be wrong, but there were an awful lot of those white hankies that they were waving around.
Yeah, but they've given them out to everybody and people.
Well, the bottom line is the answer is still the same about the new stadium. The answer, and you know what the proof in the pudding is? If they could show up this many people in the very same stadium for playoff games, how come they can't show up during the regular season? And how come during the stretch drive there the last 2 or 3 weeks when they had some of those embarrassing crowds against the Phillies and the Braves? I mean, when they got to the weekend, the last weekend they packed the place pretty good. But other than that, there was one game where they had like 11 or 12,000 people.
I mean, I don't
against
even,
the Phillies.
I know, I don't even think the attendance for the year was anywhere close to like 2 million. I don't even think so. I mean, how could that?
2 million. It was
for
over
the whole
a million.
year.
It was up from last year, but it was not that much over a million.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, how do we even think about putting up a new stadium for this?
We better not. And have a great day, sir. Thank you. Here's a fax from Daryl, who says, Daryl, do you mean Rush has to depend on a liberal attorney to get him out of this, a.k.a. Roy Black? What a bite. It's going to be interesting when in the 12 steps he gets to do the step about making amends to the... Oh, is he going to be doing the goose step, the 12 goose steps? Yeah. See, in Rush's case, they're going to do the 12 goose step program. He gets to the step about making amends to those he's caused harm or offended. When he makes amends to Hillary and Bill, I want to be there. It says if he doesn't, he's still full of crap with himself. To cover his ass in treatment, he'll probably switch over to methadone, a legal substitute heroin. He can stay as high as ever, and it's a hell of a lot cheaper than underground prescriptions. How do you like that, says Daryl, who evidently knows his crap. 600 plus votes, and it's noon, man. 628 in the Sunshine State, and it's really great. Don't be late. Don't hesitate, or palpitate, or masturbate, unless you're, well, there are probably a lot of people just yanking it because of Rush now. They're so excited, don't you think?
Oh, I know.
So who's on instead of him today? We haven't found out yet?
No.
Come on, all you Rushies out there. This is important stuff now. Let's get with it. 5670560, pound 560. Who are the apologists going to be? That's what I'd like to know. Here's a call from Pompano. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Rush, you're speaking about Rush, correct? Hello?
It sure sounds like it for the last 2 hours. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
No, I didn't know if I was on or not.
You didn't know. Wait a minute. You didn't know if what?
Rush Limbaugh is a person that, to me, I think he's a propagandist, just like Dr. Goebbels from the Nazi era.
Dr. Goebbels, yeah.
Whatever the hell he is.
Dave Gergel.
Anyhow, he works for the Republican Party. They pay him, and he's the one that was saying last year how...
Yeah, he said that last year. So he keeps saying it over. We can't stop him from saying it. He just keeps on saying it. That guy was over the age of 100. 5670560, pound 560. He didn't even know what the hell we were talking about. He didn't know if he had the right show. He doesn't know whether he's on Earth or Uranus. Get with it, pal. In fact, a few pills couldn't hurt in your case.
Which ones?
After hearing that voice, I'm ready for a couple of painkillers right now. What do you got, Wilma? Well, now that Wilma's done with him, let's see what we can get, huh?
Sure, I got her number.
Here's a call from Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
How about them caves?
They suck. Girls team, another one of those Hurricane silly people, probably the Beast boyfriend. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. I think of all these sports organizations, of all the fans, we saw that crap in Boston with the Red Sox and the Yankees. There was old Don Zimmer getting thrown to the ground. But I don't think any group of fans are as obnoxious, as grotesque, and universally despised as the Hurricane fans. They're the absolute worst. Just ask Joe Zagacki.
Joe Zagacki sucks, okay?
And I'm going to tell you, those promos that we play with Joe Zagacki's voice, just uncontrolled shrieking and screaming like somebody being butchered by with a scalpel with no Novocaine, man. It's unbelievable. In fact, you need a good anesthetic, or maybe we can just call Wilma. That might do it. The pain from those Zagacki promos is brutal. It's just sickening. It's deafening. 635 votes on the poll. What's your take on Rush Limbaugh's drug addiction story? 291 say he's a big, fat hypocrite. I always knew he was full of Schmidt, 198. I hope he never comes back, 64. Hey, Rush, paper or plastic, 29. I voted for that just because I like it, because I invented it. It's cute. I feel very sorry for him, 21. Rush is God, 20. And I'm still a ditto head, a dozen. Which means Robert Grieper just won't stop. He keeps tapping it. 11 past noon, we got Mad Dog at 2. A fairly pristine schedule other than that Panther hockey game. Any interest in those Panthers?
No.
There were like 10 people there on Saturday, even though Scott says, oh man, the place was packed. You're so full of crap. No matter where you go, you're giving me all these stories. Oh, the place was jam-packed. You need a little more experience in that Yenta Center, okay? There's like 19,250 seats.
Well, maybe that's a big crowd for Jersey.
Hey, I got news for you, man. Jersey, which wins the Stanley Cup every damn year, you could put the number of fans they got in your pocket, in your back pocket, and have room left over for your empty wallet.
Yeah, they actually sold out a little bit last year.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit. You talk about a phantom franchise. Stanley Cup winners, New Jersey Devils, man, Martin Brodeur and all them other frogs, and they can't draw flies. The only time they draw any flies when they play the Rangers, and 2/3 of the crowd are Ranger fans.
Well, it is in the Meadowlands. It draws plenty of flies out there.
You know, you were doing so much better the first 2 hours when you dummied up. 12 minutes past noon at 560 WQM. Hey, listen, if you're one of those people on the Atkins diet or the South Beach diet or any other low-carb, sugar-free diet, which, where the hell was I watching last night? They said it's like That's it. Everybody and their brother now is on a
Yes,
low carb. Huh?
Everybody.
Everybody. Even Dr. Bob would be, but he ain't here no more. Well, we sure miss him bad. Anyway, Delights of West Boca is a story you're going to fall in love with because unlike, oh, he took a bad fall. Bad spill for Dr. Bob. Don't take the briefcase to work, Doctor. Oh, too late. Delights of West Boca's got over 1,000 delicious goodies to keep you satisfied and keep you on your straight and narrow with your low-carb diet. They've got bagels and breads, cheesecakes, muffins, brownies, chocolates, pastas, sauces, chips and dips, soups, ketchups, the great Carbolite ice cream. They got Champion Light drinks in 5 delicious flavors, walnut brownies by Control Carb, Southern Delight chocolate chip cookies, Carbolite candy-coated chocolate-covered peanuts, and lots more, too. And everything in the store, they let you try it before you buy it at Delights. They're open every day, 7 days a week from 10 to 10. And don't forget, all the Atkins products on sale all day, every day, even on Columbus birthday, even on Canadian Thanksgiving, eh? At Delights on the northeast corner of Glades and 441, right next to Boston Market. Call them toll-free at 1-877-LOW-CARB, that's L-O-W, or on the web, it's lowcarb.com. Don't forget, it's a special store for all you fat folks out there. Delights of West Boca, it's your official Atkins retail center.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
On the 7th of October, they will go to the polls. And if they understand English, they'll punch a card full of holes.
Yes.
But their method of voting, some say it is bad. They have more than enough candidates. They don't need one named Chad. Welcome to the Recall, California.
All right.
Such a crazy race, such a crazy race, such a crazy place, such a crazy place. What will go wrong in the Recall, California? Will the winner be clear? Will the winner be clear by this time next year? Welcome to the Recall, California. So many on the slate, so many on the slate. No one can keep them straight. No one can keep them straight. But when they're done with the Recall, California, no matter who they choose, the Golden State will lose. Welcome to the Recall.
See, some of these bits may seem a little bit outdated, these California Arnold bits, but they're so good, they're too good to pass up on. No, I mean, to pass over. 1218 at 560 WQM. I'm just shocked. 656. I can't even say it. At 1220, 656 votes. You ever seen anything like this?
No.
I think even Alien is going to get surpassed by Rush.
Just wait till it makes the Freep website so that they can get on.
Oh yeah, to kind of even it out. Get out of here, Rush. Idiot. Pill popper. Phony. Now, let me just give you a little, any of you people out there in the audience ever going to be babysitters, or maybe just have your own kids, and some of you already do, of course, but that's another story. If your baby starts crying and you just can't stop it from crying, the best way to stop it is to pick it up and shake it violently and vigorously until it stops crying, until it stops making any noise.
I hold mine underwater.
Doesn't that usually work?
Yeah, every time.
Hollywood. When Jennifer and Brett Schwartz noticed that their infant daughter seemed unsettled around their babysitter, the couple became curious and installed a nanny cam just for their own peace of mind. Always good to have a nanny cam.
They keep showing the video, too.
The Hollywood, Florida couple who suspected the baby was just going through separation anxiety, they were shocked at what they saw. We were horrified, Jennifer Schwartz said on ABC News' Good Morning America. This is someone we trusted and welcomed into our home to take care of our daughter, she said. Kind of like parents who trust their priest with their children. Police said the Schwartz's videotape showed babysitter Claudia Murrow, 29, shaking the child. Murrow was arrested Thursday and charged with 4 counts of felony child abuse. They noticed some very disturbing and repugnant views on the tape of the nanny shaking the child and basically snapping the child's head back and forth, kind of like a rag doll, kind of like the way that got dragged off the stage by the tiger.
It was very nauseating to watch.
Was it really? I'm sure glad I didn't have to see that. At any rate, the charges stem from, wait a minute. Here it is. The charges stem from 2 clips taken September 24 and pulled from hundreds of hours of video. In one clip, police said that Miro was shaking the baby so that her head snapped back and forth, kind of like that. She then laid the baby on her lap and kissed her forehead.
Aw.
Well, she wanted to make nice, you know.
Mm-hmm.
God. In another clip, police said that Miro raised the baby above her head and then slammed her to the floor. Oh, no! Police said that Miro raised the baby above her head and then slammed her to the floor perhaps 3 or 4 times. Slammed her to the floor. Are you ready for that? The babysitter's back is to the camera and the lower view of the baby is blocked by the woman's body, but you have a feeling she won't slam her to the floor no more. There were no visible injuries to the baby, and the child underwent a battery of medical tests, which also failed to find any signs of injury. Then what's the problem? She was just given her a what for? Brett and Jennifer Schwartz called police after they viewed the tapes from the nanny cam on Wednesday. They said they were in shock because they thought they really knew Miro. Before hiring the babysitter, they said they put her name through a series of background checks. That always works, doesn't it?
Apparently not. Just
as a backup, we hired an investigator to do a background check, and both the background checks came back with nothing. We felt that we had somebody we could trust, that we didn't have anything in her past need to worry about. But they both worked during the day, and they were the woman was highly recommended by a local child care agency, which in South Florida usually means look
nothing.
out. Huh?
It usually means nothing.
In South Florida, it usually means
be afraid.
Right.
Be very afraid.
So there you go. She was just trying to discipline the baby while the parents were busy working, and they got all bent out of shape, and now she's got real tourists.
To watch the tape, it's unbelievable that the kid survived at all, much less without
Really?
injury. Yeah.
She seems to be no worse for the wear.
Babies are rubbery, and thank God.
Oh, no. All the stuff you keep faxing me here, I'm never going to get to the good stuff.
Well, get to the good stuff.
Much less these important calls like Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
A couple things. I just want to respond to the guy who called about 15 minutes ago talking about how the Marlins wouldn't have sold out if not for the Cubs fans. First of all, I mean, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in a while, and that's difficult in South Florida. The Giants series was 65,000, and it was all Marlins fans. Clearly, they would have gotten the same people for the NLCS. It is not the Marlins fans' fault that the brokers snapped up all the tickets and sold them in Chicago. Secondly, it goes right along the line with the people who say, only 17,000 showed up during the regular season. These are all new fans. Of course, what they failed to point out is that there are 81 games during the regular season, and it obviously wasn't the same 17,000 for every game. So there are plenty of people, over the course of the year that went to the games, and most of those wanted to go to the playoff game. Anyway, that's my rant. Have a good day.
But that's baloney. That's baloney, because there were plenty of games where there were like 8, 9, 10,000 people. Forget about 17,000, including one of those Philly games. I'll never forget it. And I double-checked to make sure the weather was good, which it was. 11 or 12,000 people on a Tuesday night against the Phillies in the last week of the regular season when everybody was like on pins and needles for the wild card.
No,
what kind of a crowd is that?
They averaged, right, but they ended up averaging about 17,000, and they started off.
Well, the only reason they averaged 17,000 is because the last couple of weeks there, they finally put some crowds in there, and they had like 30, 35,000 several times to goose that number up.
Right, but and also with you not being here, you'll just have to take my word for it that during the Phillies series, there was one day that it was extremely overcast and very, very cloudy, even though it did not rain, and anyone who was looking at the sky.
Well, let me ask you, what about yesterday?
What do you mean, what about yesterday?
What about the weather yesterday? Was it a clear sunny day yesterday?
It was. Well, what was wrong with the crowd yesterday?
No, I'm not talking about what was wrong with the crowd. That's my point. Wasn't it raining yesterday, or was that snowflakes falling from the sky?
Well, I was in the club section. I didn't think it rained, but
Am I wrong, Scott? Did it not rain during the game yesterday? And didn't they come out and check the field a couple of times?
Yeah, it rained in Boston. They actually called the game.
I'm not talking about Boston. I'm talking about it in Miami, not Boston.
I don't think it rained yesterday.
No, it didn't rain yesterday, Neil.
It did not?
No.
Okay, well, that's a damn good thing, because if 65,000 people would have showed up in the rain, I'd be really pissed off and foaming at the mouth.
All right, Neil. Take care.
And you too.
Bye.
Now, the point is, it's the same old thing. Nobody's kidding me. It's the same crap that goes on in South Florida all the time. If it's like a major event, and then, of course, everybody on the station always says, and I quote the same thing, oh, well, it's an event-driven town, which basically means it's a horseball, front-running, phony town. If any of the sports teams ever finally gets to, a really meaningful game, a big playoff game at a World Series or a championship game, then everybody comes out.
It's a free giveaway town.
The same people who come out who got a million excuses, in addition to which, if it's too expensive and too much of a hassle during the regular season, how come when the tickets go up to like gigantic, I mean, you're talking crazy. On the face value on the ticket on the World Series is $145 a piece, what it says on the ticket. Which if they make a comeback in X34, 40-11. That's 1-888-534-4211. Don't forget all the Neil deals. Subject to credit approval. See our friends at Hallett for details. Hallett Pontiac GMC, you'll agree with me, they really are professional grade.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
It's Dave in Miami town at 560 WQAM.
Listen, Limbaugh, to what I say. Want to tell you, lock the doctor up your fat ass. Don't you know that anybody can get nailed by some karma, especially a right-wing Nazi boss. Anybody can get nailed by some karma. It was you who brought the karma on.
Yes.
You may be deaf, but you were always dumb. Yeah, that sucks, but the good news is $250 million will buy a lot of Q-tips. You hate people who are not like you. Overpaid, windbag. I got your locked doctor right here. Don't you know that heavy karma was bound to get you sometime? Like all the millions that Clear Channel. Oh, hey, fat Nazi, maybe next you'll lose your eyesight. I don't care. I hope your balls fall off.
Anyway, 16,083. That was the accurate number to Marlins' average home attendance for this past season. 16,083, not 17. Which, you know, maybe that's nitpicking, and it was up 60% from the previous year. 1.3 million is what they drew. Alleged. And isn't that another example of bogus? Because didn't we talk many times about how many of those tickets were given away just like at the Panther game? Didn't we discuss that many, many times?
Yes.
Right, all the freebies? In fact, this is the same outfit that last year at the end of the season had that phantom guy that bought up 20,000 tickets or whatever it was. Remember that?
Sure.
Last home game of the season? Mm-hmm. And they claimed that some guy, some unnamed mysterious benefactor decided to buy up 20,000 just so they would avoid the embarrassment of being the worst, so Montreal would get that honor. Lowest in Major League attendance. Anyway, yeah, they had 29,000 for the last game. You can go on the internet and actually get the numbers as opposed just to listen to people who pull numbers out of their ass. 5670560. We got a lot of open lines on there now after being rush intensive today. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon line. Here's our only call. It's Miami Lakes. Hello.
Hey, Neil. It's been a long time I haven't talked to you. Got a great show like always. Neil, I went to the Phillies game where the Marlins won 8-4.
Yeah.
That was when they were about to win the wild card. There was 31,000 people there. But before that, 2 years ago, these people got to understand. I had season tickets. There was an average of 5,000 people out there. You know what that is? 5,000 people. How can these bozos tell me? Now they're talking about building another stadium.
Right.
Are they crazy? I'm not going to be paying for it. I'm not. My money's not going to come out of my pocket to pay for another Schwarzer, or whoever this is, a Jewish bastard like Wayne Huizenga. I don't know if he's Jewish or not.
Wayne Huizenga is Jewish?
Is he Jewish?
Only around the ears.
Well,
only the Zits are Jewish.
Well, I'm really, just pissed off because these people are talking about making a stadium. I don't want a stadium. We don't know if the Marlins are going to go to the World Series. We don't know if they're going to go to win the division. Why are this is a bandwagon town. This is a bandwagon town. Every time I see these people out there in the divisional playoffs or whatever it is, 80,000, 79,000. That's what you say. When they're winning, they're out there. When they're not
front-running phonies, man. Not only that, but all of a sudden they can afford the parking, they can afford the tickets. No price is too high. I think you might be a little bit. Yeah, look at this. The last few games of the regular season, game number 74, they had 40,414. Then mysteriously they had that 18,000, which I still don't understand. 25-28, and weren't those two of the games against the Phillies?
Yeah.
Where we were expecting like 35, but they dropped down to 25-28, and then 31, 33, 30, and 27,000. So the last 6 games of the regular season, and 7 of the last 8, really exaggerated and goosed up that average of 16,083. Because if you look before those games, man, it's generally speaking pretty grim, unless there was something special going on. 10,213, 11, 10, 12, 11. There was 20,000, which was another one of those bobblehead Saturdays. And that's the name of that tune, man. And yeah, it was up 60% from the previous year. But let me say it again. If the stadium is, just listen to the logic, okay? If that ballpark is sufficient for all of these playoff games where you're jamming in 65,000 people, and of course we know there's room for more if they open up the whole ballpark, 65,000, then what's not to like? Oh, yeah, but, the owners don't have a good deal, and Wayne's got the consent. Yada. Well, too bad. They knew that going in. Oh, Willie Shoemaker died, and you didn't even mention it yet.
No.
He was 72. Willie Shoemaker.
3. The 4-time Kentucky Derby winner died of natural causes yesterday at the age of 72. Shoemaker, who stood a mere 4'11", won more than 8,800 races during his 41-year career.
How do you like that? Willie Shoemaker's dead, 72. He was, he was in that bad wreck. He was a gimp for many, many years. He died in his sleep.
Prescription painkillers. Word of his addiction, that is, surfaced as part of an investigation into the illegal selling of prescription drugs.
Wolf's probably getting his from the same
bitch. Following the story, she's joining us now live from Miami. What is the latest, as far as we know, Susan, on the actual investigation involving Rush Limbaugh? He hasn't been charged with anything.
Bearded jerk.
He hasn't, Wolf, and of course the investigation is moving along very slowly, but investigators are not at all happy that all of this has come to light. You remember that this woman, his former housekeeper, first alleged, and the story came out in the National Enquirer just a couple of weeks ago, that she allegedly illegally sold him thousands and thousands of prescription painkillers. And then, at that time, Rush Limbaugh went on his radio show and said, I really can't say anything about anything, but I'll get back to you.
And then,
just last Friday, he came clean, but only about his addiction.
You know that I have always tried to be honest with you throughout these 15 years and open about my life. So I need to tell you something. I need to tell you today that part of what you have heard and read in the past week is correct. I am addicted to prescription pain medication. Immediately following this broadcast, I will check myself into a treatment center for the next 30 days to once and for all break the hold that this highly addictive medication has on me.
Now, Mr. Limbaugh did not address any of the charges that his former housekeeper made against him. He did acknowledge that there is an ongoing criminal investigation, but he says he's been advised not to comment on it at this time. Wolf?
Bug out of here, Wolf. Get lost. So there you go. There's Susan Candiotti and CNN, and we certainly know that even on the Certainly Not News Network that we might be able to believe about 2 or 3% of what they say. 567-056. You got these damn church stories you get me here. I got the iron buttock pole-sitting champions who finally cracked, and the uncircumcised men with the higher HIV. And Martha Stewart tells, what's her name, Barbara Walters, that she's scared.
Be afraid.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Oh, man. Just as you were saying it, I had my finger on it and the button, too. 20 till 1 at 560 WQM. If I sound enthused and excited about it, first of all, we don't feel all that sorry for drug addicts anyway, do we?
No, we don't.
Because, I'm addicted to sugar, to refined sugar. I'm not proud of it. I admit it. It's very harmful to my health. It's a strong addiction. It's unbelievable. So I'm here to announce today, for the 8 millionth time, I'm addicted to sugar, to refined sugar, and anything that's got it. Candy and cookies and ice cream and cookies and candy and ice cream, and especially the last two.
Yeah.
All of the above.
And I'm just a dick.
I'm addicted. And look what happened to Robert, what's his name that died, who was addicted to love?
Palmer.
Crane?
Robert Crane Palmer. Robert Palmer. He died. Nobody cared. You notice that? Nobody really gave a crap.
Potatoes.
VH1 though has got some a whole bunch of stuff in the can though. 19 till 1 at 5. Now look at this.
Conservative.
I don't think you can take pleasure, pardon me,
What the hell is
in
that
somebody
guy?
being addicted
Oh,
to
that
drugs.
big fat guy.
I mean,
Yeah,
and I
Ken.
understand these drugs are some of the worst. to
Bernie
be addicted
Ward.
to.
A couple of these radio talk show nerds.
What a tub.
Yeah.
He's a
and not
glutton.
only
He's
that,
another
let's speak
addict.
for us, okay? We do take great pleasure in it because when somebody is always the same thing, just like those religionists, man, always pointing the finger and, oh, God's going to punish you and the sinners and the sodomites about, and then I'll come to find out they're like climbing on everything that moves, even attacking fire hydrants and little animals. God. Hey, if you got a really crappy job like Scott, if you couldn't raise $5 if your life depended on it, here's the answer. Pick up the phone and call our friends at Fast Train and get you a real career. Not just a job, not just a chore, but a real career in the computer industry. Fast Train, come here. I'm a little choked up seeing this fat guy in there. Fast Train can have you certified before year's end. The demand for computer professionals is huge. It is gigantic. So why not right now get you into the computer field and get out of your dead-end job? There's no excuses to stick around with that crappy job no more. Because Fast Train offers you job placement assistance, convenient day, evening, and weekend schedules, and with 4 locations in South Florida, there's bound to be a Fast Train close by where you live. Fast Train even offers financial assistance for people who qualify as well. So call Fast Train today. Be sure and tell them that old Todd Dreck told you to call. They'll get a real boot out of that. Check them on the web first at fasttrain.com and then call them 1-866-FAST-TRAIN.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Holy Mackinac! This is Joe Bowen, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're listening to the Hockey Authority, Neil Goss.
Just one marijuana cigarette can cause memory loss and paranoia. Just one joint will drive you to madness. It will make you pluck out your eyeballs just to see what's under the dresser. The world as you know it will cease to exist. You will enter alternate realities, like being trampled to death by fat, imperious Jamaican women. In fact, scientific studies have shown that marijuana causes polio and will make your balls shrivel up into tiny little BBs. Smoking marijuana will make you die. Really? You gotta believe us. We have to say things like that. Oh, and sex is bad too. This message paid for by the Partners Against Fun in America.
I'm going to tell you one thing. You do anything you enjoy, you're going to die. 1245 at 560 WQM. 830 votes on that poll.
320 at the site.
Yeah, $320 in a quarter of an hour to go to 1 o'clock. That's pretty weak. $320.
Yeah.
Blows.
Oh, well.
Miguel is still there waiting for you. He's lonely in the QM van. Southeast corner of 163rd and US 1 in the Exxon gas station. Look for the QM van. $320. It's not even worth the gas to go there, you know? Our Best in Neil merchandise. No, seriously. And you and Miguel and whoever else was giving me a few weeks ago, oh, just calm down. You always do this. We started earlier,
Yeah.
but we'll get to 100,000, no problem. Let me ask you right now. It's October the 13th. You think we're going to make 100,000 for Abandoned Pet Rescue this year?
No.
No. Think we're going to make 75?
Maybe.
Do you honestly think we're going to get to 75?
Maybe.
Scott?
I don't think so.
No.
Not at this rate.
We got 31,245 plus 320, a little under 32 grand. Nobody wants to help us out this year. It's the middle of October already. I'll tell you, the people inside the building there, okay, that's my comment. I mean, I'm not going to come on here every day and waste my time, beating a dead horse, beating a dead checkbook. We got some people making some serious bucks in there, not only Scott either.
You serious?
I didn't say how many.
About 30, man.
Right, he's making a few.
Sense.
But no, nobody's interested this year. Everybody's crying poor mouth. But like I just said, when it came to the ball games there and just unbelievably gouging the public for the same seats that during the regular season, not only couldn't they give them away, but cost almost nothing if you wanted to pay for it. And now, well, it's the playoffs. Maybe it's going to be the World Series, Neil. You don't understand. No, I don't understand. If I have a supermarket, okay, and I have a pound of ground chuck.
Who's he?
And it's sitting in the showcase there, a pound of ground chuck, and it says $1.99. And you come in 2 weeks later, now the same pound of ground chuck, the same meat from the same animal, and now instead of $1.99, oh, that's $300. Oh, no problem. I'll take 2 pounds. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make no sense to me. But that's South Florida, which never makes any sense to anybody because it's full of crap. It's phony as an $82 bill. And that guy, well-meaning, wants to give me propaganda, and they average 17,000. Pretty soon, by the end of the day, they'll be averaging 25,000 there when it comes time to get to stadium. Oh, don't worry, we're averaging 35,000 a game. We got to build new seats in there just to make room for everybody who wants to get in. Right. What's your take on a Rush Limbaugh drug addiction story? Take a look at this. 847 votes with an hour, 12 minutes. We can make that 1,000 today during the daytime.
Easy.
Holy moly. Your take on Rush. He's a big, fat hypocrite, 407. I always knew he was full of Schmidt, 259. I hope he never comes back, 78. Hey, Rush, paper or plastic, you spastic, 38. Rush is God, 25. I feel very sorry for him, 25. And I'm still a ditto head, 19. So the supportive votes are, let's see, it's 5.6, 7.7%. Which means 92.3 are like negative, which figures with this audience. Since we hate him like poison and wish him all the worst. Buffalo Kenny says, I went to the game yesterday. They had the planes flying with banners that said, Go Marlins, 560, we got balls, 560, and Howard Pharrell Mandich, no Neil on the banner. Oh, and look at this. Howard Pharrell Mandich Goldberg, 560, no Neil.
Uh-huh.
Were you aware of that?
No, not until I just faxed that thing, although I figured out why.
I don't think it takes a rocket scientist. I think even a 5-year-old can probably tell you the reason that we're not on the banner is because the Neil Rogers show has nothing to do with
sports.
Right.
That's it.
Tough.
Because it's not
sports.
Yeah, you idiots. Thanks a lot again. Once again. Then they'll say, oh, but you got most of the billboards. Yeah, that was great. Now, what now? In other words, that's like a one-time deal? Now they couldn't squeeze my name on that freaking banner. Oh, God forbid the QM should admit to those sports holes that Neil Rogers is on his radio station with the highest numbers and bringing all these millions of dollars for them so they can play their games like a bunch of overgrown children. God forbid they should do that. Well, that's really something. And then they put We Got Balls on there. I sure hope Donnie Shillelagh wasn't there yesterday. She'd be really porked off. We got balls.
I was going to say, Bernie and Larry, maybe both of you know a little bit more about OxyContin, for example, one of these pain-killing drugs.
Yeah, they know where to get you some, Wolf. Okay, you look like you could use a few. How many does he need before the show's over?
About 30, man.
Just for a start. Little blue babies, man. So give me some of them little blue babes. Iron Buttock pole-sitting champs crack at day 165. This is one of my favorite stories.
Rectum.
Because this show is ass-intensive. Berlin. Did you hear about this?
Not till today, from you.
After 165 days of sitting on top of a 2.5 meter, that's 8-foot pole, the 3 remaining contestants in the 2003 World Pole Sitting Championships have cracked
Rectum
and decided to give their strained buttocks a rest. I wonder which one was sitting on the pole position. The 3 men, oh, this is a real story. The 3 men, one is a 53-year-old German truck driver, and the other 2 of them are, guess what? Guess what nationality?
I don't know.
Poles.
Austrian. Oh no.
It's a real story.
Oh,
it's
man.
from the Reuters. The 3 men, 2 Poles and a 53-year-old German truck driver, have agreed to end their lofty vigil after lashings of pouring rain and sub-zero temperatures battered their enthusiasm and sent their resilience plummeting to rock bottom. They decided it was too cold, organizer Klaus Mueller from the Heidi Park Soltau amusement park in West Germany, where the event is staged, told Reuters on Friday. The men had squatted on their pole day and night since late April, sat on a 15 by 23-inch board about the size of a newspaper page. They could only come down on ladders for 10 minutes every 2 hours to visit the old magic room. Electronic sensors on the board monitored the pressure of backsides, and video cameras ran constantly to prevent cheating. They monitored the pressure of backsides.
Rectum.
The men had hoped to last 200 days, beating the world record of 196, or over 4,300 hours of sitting. That's with no H. But negotiations between the poles enabled them to, that's with a small P, enabled them to strike a tripartite deal to quit, a move Mueller has said received international backing. A Swiss newspaper praised it as a progressive piece of German-Polish diplomacy, he said. Mueller said relations aloft between contestants has not always been so civil in this year's championships. And it goes on and on. About a bunch of assholes sitting on a freaking pole trying to break some stupid record. How do you like that?
Rectum.
Probably Clarence can relate. He's a little sore about the whole deal. I sure hope we don't have Clarence and the Beast again tomorrow morning as a lead-in. God, would that be bad or what? Oh.
Yes.
Where's Pharrell? Is he going to be back tomorrow? Is he, like, mending his wounds?
Right.
Is he mending his womb? Well, Scott Jr. there could tell us, but he ain't speaking. Mum is the word. Well, no, because when times gets tough, Look at that, 901. 901 votes. Can you remember last time we had 900 during the show?
Nope.
Even during
1,000.
Alien?
Incredible.
It is amazing, and that's because Rush brings out the most hostile feelings. He gets everybody whipped up into a frenzy because anybody with an IQ larger than their toenail knows that he's full of crap, a big, big wind of right-wing bullcrap, who just makes it up as he goes along. The more hateful, the more anti-human, the better. Speaking of anti-human, now that the Diocese of Covington, Kentucky has agreed to pay $5.2 million, an amount greater than all of its previous sexual abuse payouts combined, to settle 2 Lexington area lawsuits, attorneys and officials look to the next case, and it's sobering. Attorney Stan Chesley believes that at least 40 priests, more than 1 out of every 10 in the diocese during that time, sexually abused children. He also believes there are up to 1,000 victims. And this coming in the face of the Pope over the weekend come up with this caca crap about, the media blew this out of proportion, and it's just a small group of priests who besmirched everybody else, and yada yada. Bull crap.
Caca.
Yeah, bull crap, Papa John. Although we do like your pizza. It's okay. At least 40, more than 1 out of every 10 in the diocese, sexually abused children, and believes there are up to 1,000 victims. This is just in Kentucky, in the Diocese of Covington. If Chesley's estimate is correct, there are as many as 1,000 victims. A settlement of the same magnitude in the next case could cost the diocese $190 million. The diocese, however, says it's only received 158 allegations. That includes 15 received before 89, 112 during the 90s, and 31 since. Only 158. Chesley doubted the 158 cases reported at the diocese represent the whole picture of abuse. How many 12 or 13-year-olds would have come forward with accusations against their priest, he asked. The diocese's decision to settle the Lexington area lawsuit set the bar, he said. I believe these cases are now going to have real value, the same value they had in Boston. Huh? How do you like that? Eat your heart out, Papa. That's not good for his health again, you know it? La Papa?
Yeah.
Una Mama Grande?
He was on 60 Minutes.
The Pope?
Yeah.
Doing what? About his 25th anniversary bullcrap?
He has canonized more saints than all of the other popes put together.
Yeah. How about St. Elsewhere? How about St. Elsewhere?
Yeah.
That one too?
That one too.
I'll be damned.
Including kidnapping popes and preachers. And
Look at this story about group with cockfighting ties gets a tax break from the federal government.
Yeah, stop picking on the Spicks about that cockfighting. It's y'all's thing.
No, not y'all. It's a bunch of rednecks.
That's what
Nobody
I said,
ever called me
y'all.
no redneck. Oh. Bob Hilserkopf beams with pride when he looks at his 30 Gamecock.
Just keep going. Just plow ahead.
No, but there's a word missing there. Leash to barrels across. When he looks at it, is that singular or plural? Leash to barrels across the green lawn behind his modest white frame home. This is Harrison, Ohio. I know the mom and dad of every bird I have on a place, he said. He also knows that his roosters, a breed he developed called Liberty Hatch, tend to do especially well in cockfighting pits, although he no longer fights them himself. He prefers to let other cocks fight him. Right. Animal rights groups say the bloody battles, illegal in all but 2 states, are the only reason game fowl are raised. They're urging the federal government to revoke the tax-exempt status of the Ohio-based United Gamefowl Breeders Association. The group, with about 15,000 members in 28 states, has operated as a government-sanctioned agricultural organization for 28 years. You can't separate the breeding from the fighting, said Wayne Parcell, Senior VP of the Humane Society of the U.S. The purpose of raising these birds is to fight them. There is no legitimate agricultural activity occurring. And then obviously it goes on eventually somewhere in this story that they're getting some kind of a tax break, which I can't do enough of this story to get to that point. Evidently somewhere in there.
Right.
Don Perdue, a past president of UGBA and state legislator from Pritchard, West Virginia, said he raises a strain of frost gray gamefowl because it was something he and his father did together while he was growing up. That couldn't be from the Purdue chicken people, could it? No, not spelled the same way, I hope. Wouldn't that be bad?
How's it spelled?
Anyway, there you go another. Well, look, and even rednecks have to have something to do besides just doing their sister. Right?
Right.
In their spare time, just besides painting up the old trailer park.
They fight with their dogs and they fight with their
cocks.
fowls.
12:57 at 560 WQM. Hey, listen, if you want to lose some weight, if you're one of them big, fat, like, what's that cop in Georgia, the one that we always see on there? Rufus, whatever his name is. If you're like that, and believe me, you got a lot of company, including me, don't be lethargic or out of shape the rest of your life because it's going to be pretty short. That's really what it boils down to. If you're diabetic or on the verge of it, trust me when I tell you, after 15 years of this crap, it's no fun. But with Balance for Life, you can really lose the weight and be healthy at the same time. Not some kind of a fad, not some kind of a gimmick where you eat like little teeny tiny portions and you're starving yourself to death. Unlike that, Balance for Life delivers you a black sack every morning that's loaded with really good stuff. You get to choose between 2 alternatives for each meal every day that you're on a program and every snack, and they deliver exactly what you want right to your door. 3 delicious fresh gourmet meals made with the best ingredients going. They got chicken dishes and they got beef dishes and all kinds of omelets and frittatas and you name it, they got it. 2 delicious snacks, all of that right in your black sack. Plenty of food to keep you happy and satisfied and healthy throughout the day. You'll start seeing the weight melt off that scale in just a matter of days. So if you've tried everything else under the sun and you're frustrated and maybe even bigger than you were before, let Balance for Life do it for you. It's easy because they do all the counting and all the work. There's no calorie counting on your part, no carb counting, no shopping, nothing to worry about. They do it all for you. Call Balance for Life today, 954-568-3229. 954-568-3229, or visit them on the web at balanceforlife.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAQAM.
Holy cow! It might be, it could be, it's the 1 to 2 hour with Neil Roberts.
The Cubs suck.
Can't get enough updates on Ben and J-Lo?
Are they married? Are they broken up?
Then you've got to watch Bennifer Cam. 24-hour candid video of Ben and J-Lo, complete with GPS coordinates.
Are they temporarily broken up but going to get married? Is J-Lo available? Did Ben cheat on J-Lo? What's the circumference of J-Lo's butt at sea level?
Bennifer Cam.
What does J-Lo eat for breakfast? What does Ben's stool look like?
On Fox this fall.
101 at 560 WQM. 950 votes on there. We'll make 1,000 easy, you know, maybe 1,100.
Yes, and 420 at the site is the final count.
Okay, the final curtain closes. Well, that's better than we thought it was going to be because after like 20 minutes we only had $20, so we got another 420, which brings our total. It's tough. Like I said, they got plenty of money for Marlin tickets, which they couldn't give a flying crap about during the regular season, but they got no money for charity, for abandoned pet rescue and dogs and cats, and for the Best of Neil stuff, which, like Miguel said weeks ago, they don't want your crap this year. That's what Miguel said. They don't want your stuff. Screw you. You just faxed me this stuff about fructose and irritable bowel syndrome?
Yeah.
Any special reason? This is from the Globe and Mail, eh?
No,
A diet high in fructose may contribute to symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome, a study released Monday says. Ain't no fun, I'll tell you that. IBS commonly causes symptoms such as diarrhea, constipation, abdominal discomfort, and bloating. Researchers at the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics in Iowa City have been investigating the effects of a diet high in fructose, the simple sugar found in honey and many types of fruit. You ready for that?
Fructose?
I thought that was supposed to be good for you.
Get the honey, Junior.
Unless, of course, you're diabetic. The researchers have found that maybe a significant portion of the population who are fructose intolerant, and in previous studies they found that a third to half people suffering from IBS symptoms are fructose intolerant. The sugar found in honey and many types of fruit. Do I eat much fruit?
No.
Do I ever eat honey?
No.
Oh, no.
Get
You eat
the
lots
honey,
of fruit.
Junior.
Well, but I don't swallow.
I see.
Look for the Russian Dr. Phil diet book in 2004, says David. After being released from rehab and no longer taking his little pills, Rush Limbaugh will jump to 350 pounds and will seek support from Katie Couric, Matt Lauer, and Oprah, and eventually hook up with Dr. Phil for diet tips, it says here. After getting diet tips from Dr. Phil, Rush goes to 412 pounds. Nice going, David.
All right.
Okay, what's your take on a Rush Limbaugh drug addiction story? Have anybody called in and tell us who's filling in for him today?
No.
Well, evidently they're stuck over there. Good. They deserve each other. Or maybe nobody's listening now. They know he's not going to be there. 965 votes. What's your take? He's a big fat hypocrite, 468. I always knew he was full of Schmidt, 291. I hope he never comes back, 93. Hey, Rush, paper or plastic, 39. Rush is God, 26. I feel very sorry for him, 25. And I'm still a ditto head, 23. See, I don't see why anybody would feel sorry for him.
Right.
Comments that he made about Jerry Garcia and about Kurt Cobain,
they deserved
like that.
it. They deserved it. They deserved
it. Yeah, they deserved it because they were like rich white folks
right.
who were like, doing all these terrible things. They ought to go up the river.
Even though Kurt had that chronic stomach pain all his life, you know.
That's no excuse.
I know.
And like somebody pointed out during this debate here a little while ago on CNN as I was eavesdropping a little bit with my audio cam, how come he was like playing golf and traveling all over the country and making these speeches? And the response from that Schwarzer who was defending him was, oh, well, he was on pain pills. Oh, really? No Schmidt. How many does he need this between now and 1:30?
About 30, man.
5670560. Here's a lady in Davie. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. I have a question regarding the broadcast of the Marlins game.
Yes.
Why is it that the guy, Tom, I guess it is, cannot speak into the microphone so you could hear him above the crowd? When Al Leiter was talking, you could hear everything. But the play-by-play was ridiculous. You couldn't
Tom
hear a word
Brenneman?
unless you cranked up the TV, and then you cranked up the TV, the crowd got louder, and you still couldn't hear him.
Well, don't blame him on it. Blame Fox Sports for screwing up the audio.
I tried calling through. Nobody could get through. Email.
And, I'm going to tell you another thing. And I'm getting I don't know about you, but because Tom Brenneman's a good announcer. He used to work with Harry Carey for years in Chicago. And the fact of the matter is that I'm so sick and tired. We got Al Leiter up there, who is a terrific pitcher. But why do we need to keep seeing him and his fingers on the ball? And you can see Tom Brenneman's nervously looking out there in the field just to make sure they don't want to miss the next pitch in like an important play. And it's just ridiculous.
I don't know. The whole broadcast was crazy because you had to crank your TV up so loud you still couldn't hear what was going on.
Well, just be happy with the outcome unless you're a Cub fan, in which case we don't want to talk to you. I think the solution for sportscasting is because there's so many bad ones now. Let's just have 30 ex-jocks in the booth. What do you say? How many?
About 30, man.
Well, that should handle it. And then that Barry Jackass writes this stupid, idiotic crap last week about, they finally got the right formula. 3 in the booth. You're right. You're an idiot, Barry. You're a moron. You're just a Greg Reed simpleton is what you are. You're like something that Greg, after a bad meal of sushi, like he dropped out of his butt. Well, speaking of that, uncircumcised men have higher HIV risk, George.
Yes, I know.
See, this battle between the clean and the unclean has been going on in the show for many, many years.
You win. But I'm still clean.
I'm just telling you, just one of
squeaky
those things.
clean.
It's not, well, you can have it squeaky clean, but...
Don't cut! Don't cut! Don't! Please!
Uncircumcised men are 8 times as likely to become infected with HIV than circumcised men.
Oi!
According to a study of nearly 2,300 men in India.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I know how they smell.
Yeah.
A researcher at Baltimore's Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine suggested that the inner surface of the foreskin does not have the same protective layer as the outside and is potentially more vulnerable to HIV.
No question.
Male circumcision is common in North America and elsewhere for religious and cultural reasons and to help prevent urinary tract infections and penile cancer. Only sometimes they cut way too much. The procedure... Oh, believe me.
I heard those
The procedure involves removal of the foreskin, which covers the tip of the penis, and is typically done shortly after birth. In the U.S., some 2/3 of male infants are circumcised annually. Worldwide, the rates vary widely depending on the culture and religion. In many countries, including India, circumcision is uncommon. It's important that we offer measures to help curb the spread of AIDS, especially in developing countries where it continues to grow at an alarming rate. Dr. Stephen Reynolds, postdoctoral fellow in the Division of Infectious Diseases at Johns Hopkins and a study investigator, said in a statement released last Thursday. The American Academy of Pediatrics has said it no longer recommends routine circumcision because, despite some medical benefit, there can be complications, like cutting too much. Johns Hopkins also, just take a little off the top.
Sides.
Johns Hopkins also stated the risk of other sexually transmitted diseases among circumcised and uncircumcised men, although the incidences of diseases like syphilis, gonorrhea, and genital herpes was slightly higher among uncircumcised men. The difference was not statistically significant.
Hey, speaking of diseases...
Yes?
Tom Sullivan is filling in for Rush today.
Somebody called and told you?
A bunch of people, I guess. We have a lot of listeners who don't listen to us.
No, it's just, what does that mean? They probably turned over to answer my question. That's all. You're such a sourpuss, man. You're starting to get as sour as your compatriot there, as your colleague. Only the difference is he's got good reason. You don't. What are you sour about?
You don't get paid.
Lack of pay.
You get free hockey tickets.
Hey?
Get to come on here and make inane comments and inaccurate statements for all of our vast audience out there. What the hell more could you want?
I take my job seriously.
Well, that's the problem. Anyway, Reynolds said there are methods uncircumcised men may be able to use to protect themselves against HIV, including condoms. Oh, the Pope ain't too happy about that. That story, which again, they just kind of glossed over it, if I can say that. That is one of the most infuriating, unbelievable, and of course the WHO is psychotic about that. Oh, don't use condoms, all you people in Africa, because they have little tiny holes and the HIV virus will get through there, and it doesn't protect you at all. Don't be using them condoms.
You saw
We
who's
want you to
running
make
around.
lots and lots of babies. So, see, the Roman Catholic Church is a baby maker. It's a numbers game. How many babies can we make you have in your lifetime?
About 30, man.
And they're working at it. And that's why that whole cockamamie business about, oh, well, sex is only acceptable in the church if it's for procreation. And, just keep making good Catholic babies. What a bunch of crap that is, huh? That's why all them Hispanic and them Dago and Irish, that's why they got like 20 kids.
Right.
Because they're trying to please the church. Well, if you can't please the church, please yourself. Okay?
Please.
In fact, nobody ever got pregnant when they were pleasing themselves. Anyway, including condoms, and in the future, a potential topical microbicide product that might be applied to the foreskin before sex. You just rub it. Well, I mean,
it's topical.
You don't want to rub it too much because then you're probably not going to be able to complete whatever you were. Yeah. Just rub it a little bit. Don't get carried away. I'm looking so desperately for this and I can't find it.
Stay on topic.
Oh, no, there it is.
Just rub it?
Yeah, that's it. Well, it wasn't really worth it. I wonder what Rick Riley did last week.
I looked up Heine's.
Oh, that's good. We hear any more from Suds?
Not lately.
Oh. So what is Rick Riley really doing? Do we know? I mean, I know
no,
that's way off. It's off the circumcision.
Although during the vacation week, it is highly likely that we'll have another visit from Suds.
Oh. That doesn't answer my question.
Well, I'll ask him then.
Well, maybe Rick is still waiting to fill in.
There you go.
Still waiting to stab you in the back so you can have reason to hate him like poison, which you really do. Germans criticize leaders and admire the Arnold effect. I want to get that story in before the day is out. Got a lot of stuff here. The calls, we'll take one. I like that. Take one here, take one there. That's it. Same voices all the time anyway. 5670560. Oh, wait a minute. What was that? The name of those Egyptians was Mohammed and Atta? Was that their names?
Yeah. One of them.
No, seriously. What was their name? Ahmed and Mohammed. That's 997 votes on the poll. This is got to be one or two people. Okay, don't you think because it's a holiday?
No.
No, you don't think they're like loading us up? 999, as they say in Germany. 999. That is unbelievable.
9. Turn over.
Did you do it? Did you refresh it?
I'm refreshing right now.
So you know that they're just going crazy on this thing. It's almost like it's getting freaked by the anti-rush people. Oh, it's now it's so loaded up, it won't refresh. It's refreshing. You got it? What does it say?
1,000.
No, but it's going to be more than that because now I'm clicking on mine. I'm way ahead of you. And it's just really, really slow. It's loading really slow. It just there it goes. There's the 0 on the top of my page. There's the time. There's the temperature. 1,003. 1,003 votes. What's your take on a Rush Limbaugh drug addiction story? All them illegal pills he was popping, huh? He's a big fat hypocrite, 486. I always knew he was full of Schmidt, 300. I hope he never comes back 100. Hey, Rush, paper or plastic? Oh, there's the fight again in the ballgame.
There was a fight at Fenway.
Yeah. 41. Very good, Miles. Rush is God, 26. I'm still a ditto head, 25. And I feel very sorry for him, 25, of which Robert Creeper probably voted about 20 times. Robert, you're an idiot, man. You're pathetic. You're so sad. If you had a brain, you might be dangerous. Robert's the safest person in the building. Him and Greg.
9.
Well, no, that's right. Greg's the most dangerous person in the building because he actually has some authority. 113 at 560 WQM, same IQ. Hey, if you got any kind of an IQ, you'll buy your next mattress the smart way. If the old one is lumpy and bumpy and worn out, guess what? Mattresses don't make a comeback. They don't have like a second life. It's not like if you wait a few months, it'll be good again. It'll be firm, or your mattress either. So pick up the phone and call Dial a Mattress because all day, every year, 365 days a year, they give you the best deals in the world. And it's the easiest piece of shopping because all you have to do is make one simple call. They got the top names, no crap. They've got Sealy, Serta, Tempur-Pedic, Simmons, King Coil, Stearns & Foster Hewitt. All you do is pick up that thing, call 1-800-MATTRESS, that's it. No nonsense, no bait and switch, no house brands, no phony sales, no false promises, and best of all, a delivery deal like you never heard of in your life. You pick today in time for delivery. Any 2-hour window that's convenient for you when your ass is going to be home from 8 in the morning till 10 at night, any day, 7 days a week. So like from 10 in the morning till noon, from 11:15 till 1:15, etc. And believe you me, they'll show up on time and you'll be sleeping with a big smile on your puss right away. I've been sleeping on one from Dial a Mattress, and so is George and Miguel and lots of anybody else with a brain. Scott would do it too, only he can't afford it. With low prices, same-day delivery, free setup and removal, it's easy to see why you can't beat Dial a Mattress with your stick. Don't get fooled by or sucked in by those mattress showrooms or furniture store ads. They can't even come close to the great deals you get every day from Dial Mattress. Call them right now. They'll be there before you know it in no time at all. Call 1-800-MATTRESS, 1-800-MATTRES. It's the only smart way to get you a great new mattress and a good night's sleep. Or check them out online at mattress.com.
Nine.
How many times have I told you, Robert, that's not the time to do it?
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours.
About 30, man.
QAM.
Hi, this is Arnold, and many people say that I should not be governor of California because I cannot pronounce California. I would like to drive my fist up their ass and pull out their intestines. Now I will prove I'm from California by singing now. I wish they all could be California girls. California girls. I wish they all could be California girls. Yeah. Now vote for Arnold, or I'll rip off your head and vomit down your neck. I sing now. Barbara A. Barbara A. Barbara A. Rolling und rocken und rolling und rocking. Yeah. Only someone from California could sing the Beach Boys as well as Arnold. Vote for me. I'm a f***ing Kennedy.
119 at 560 WQM. That poor Don Zimmer, man. He just didn't. Oh, and there's John Henry again.
Statements I thought were irresponsible and probably just said in the heat of the moment. And he declined to do so.
I must be crazy. I must be nuts.
Yeah, you are, man. He is one of the wimpiest. Seriously, that would be a good poll.
Yeah.
Let's do that tomorrow. Who's the wimpiest of them all?
Okay.
Have you ever eaten at Wimpy's?
No, I haven't.
Isn't that a British thing, or is that...
I'm not sure.
The wimpiest of them all. Well, we know it's
smelled
not
that.
Arnold.
That was nasty.
What?
That grapes.
Well, that's okay. It's part of my Canadian Thanksgiving dinner from yesterday. It was really good.
Do they eat turkey as well?
5670560. In fact, they had these little pumpkin tarts, not pumpkin pie per se, but little tarts. And they had this custard sauce that you put on top of it, you know?
That sounds yummy.
It really was. Custard was just, in fact, I could just suck that custard right out of the container. I have some in the fridge right now.
Yeah.
Be a wild last half hour, I'll tell you that. 1,047 votes. Are you ready for that? What's your take on a Rush Limbaugh drug addiction story? He's a big fat hypocrite, 508. I always knew he was full of Schmidt, 311. I hope he never comes back, 108. Hey, Rush, paper or plastic, 42. I feel very sorry for him, 27. Rush is God, 26. And I'm still a ditto head, 25. And Tom Sullivan is filling. Who the hell is that? Do we have any idea?
No.
Do we care?
Not me.
No.
No.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Yeah, Rush?
Yeah, Rush speaking.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. Listen, if Rush did a shipment of drugs through Federal Express over interstate lines, that's a federal crime.
All right.
Which would be a mandatory minimum, I think, according to the Republicans.
All right.
Excellent.
So maybe he'll get about 30 years.
That would be good.
About 30, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That, and I bet you that his attorney sent him away for 30 days so that he could figure out what was going on.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Get a good time to stall and and hibernate and stay the hell away from the media. That's right.
Right. And the last point I want to make is he's not honest. He was outed. He was in the drug closet, and they outed him. And he got caught. That's why he's all of a sudden confessing.
Absolutely correct, sir. And have a great day.
All right, you too.
The Inquirer outed Rush, his heavy-duty pill addiction. Wilma says he was doing enough to kill an elephant is what he was doing, all over the goddamn place. In fact, you know what we should have played just all day? What's that? That's enough. That's enough for this hour.
For this segment.
I mean, the beginning of that story where it talks, what did I do with that one? Where he talks about where Wilma talks about how he was getting other people who had painkillers and he was embarrassing them, he was coercing them, he was pressuring them to turn them over to him. He pressured one man into handing over pills prescribed for his wife after she'd had a miscarriage and scored painkillers from a stenographer with a broken leg. He was shameless. If he knew anyone who was suffering pain, he would try to persuade them to share their pills with him. How do you like that? How many you got there? Huh?
About 30, man.
I'll take them. I'll take them all. That thing about the banner that didn't have, I mean, you talk about going out of your way to leave us out. Does that frost your ass or what?
Oh, Neil Rogers doesn't need any promotion.
Yeah, big banner over the stadium there. They got 65,000 people in there for a little promotion for all of us. Go, and it says, we go Marlins 560, we got balls. And Howard, Farrell, Mad Dog, Goldberg, 560 QM. No Neil. No. Well, okay. To Greg Reed. To in a promotional department, too, isn't that Miguel? And Doreen?
I'm sure it was not Miguel's decision, and you know that.
That's for Doreen. That's the sound she makes every time she drops her pills on the floor when she stands up. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. Any checks come in from inside the building yet for Bandit Pet Rescue?
Man.
Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Jealous Al Franken Jew lover.
Yeah.
Like you are.
Okay.
You're a Jew lover?
Yeah. Al Franken Jew lover.
I see.
Here's our last call. It's from Pompano. Hello.
It's great to be a Miami Hurricane. It's great.
Like I said, morons. People with an IQ smaller than their left toenail. That's the hurricane crowd. 5670560, bunch of overgrown children, just like the beast. They waddle around, rich parents. That's why they used to call it Suntan U. Bunch of spoiled little rich kids walking around, little brats. There's no campus. You can't find it. There's no students at any of the sporting events there. It's just all the front-running phonies from the community running, hey, we're number one. All that crap. Trying to make themselves feel better about themselves because they look around and they see where they live. Germans criticize leaders admire the Arnold effect. The straight-talking Hollywood action star election win in California has had an electrifying impact on Germany, leading to calls Friday for top politicians to voice clear ideas in simple language or be swept away at the polls. The more confused we are by what they say, the greater our longing for a man or woman with simple words, wrote Bild newspaper columnist Franz Josef Wagner. The only problem is that it's the wrong ones who usually master simple language. Schwarzenegger's victory in the California race for governors led to editorials calling for German politicians to abandon their barely comprehensible speaking style in favor of Klartext, straight talk. Klartext and Kotext. But Wagner also warns, and others also warn the dangers of falling for simple remedies from loud Austrians who enthrall the masses. Oh, sound familiar? Austrian-born Adolf Hitler still cast a long shadow in Germany. Celebrities, columnists, ordinary citizens, even some politicians have joined the chorus of calls for less talk and more action to get Germany moving again after years of economic stagnation and political standstill. Oh, my first thought was, oh my God, not another Austrian immigrant.
Oh my God.
The first one caused enough damage, wrote Peter Bonisch, a former government spokesman and newspaper editor, in an analysis on Schwarzenegger for the tabloid Bild. But Germany urgently needs something Schwarzenegger-like, a can-do spirit, unconventional thinking, courage, strength, and vision. We're facing the worst crisis since the war. Time for another good Führer, don't you think?
Sure.
It's good enough
Make
back then.
Make a Führer about it.
So there's the deal for you. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon Wireless line. Here's John, who wants some Marlin tickets. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
Okay, sir.
Listen, I just wanted to call to thank you for the easy way that I won those tickets Friday.
On Friday, right. I made it painless. I saved it right till the bitter end and made it painless.
Oh, I was in shock. But I just wanted to tell you that my 10-year-old son thought I was a hero. The seats were much better than you described them. I mean, they were upstairs, but they were the third row.
Right.
The game was great. Everything was great, and I just wanted to thank you.
Okay, thanks for calling, John. I appreciate it. Glad you enjoyed it. Okay.
Thanks.
I thought he was going to say, hey, I got $800 for those, something like that. Well, no, but this was even better. He took his 10-year-old kid and they had a great time and were really nice, And I should mention, was there any fallout from that? I don't think the Humper really gave a crap, did he?
No.
Because I embarrassed Miguel. See, this is just like the banner. It's the same thing. Clarence had tickets for the Marlin game on Sunday, the Cubs-Marlin game, and on all the sports shows, but not for us.
Right.
And so I said to Miguel, who of course is supposed to be somewhat involved in promotions, whose decision is that? And he said, Clarence. Well, I said, screw Clarence, we're going to give away a pair. So we stole Hank's pair. Because I don't think Hank would mind, you? If he might. Hank couldn't care less. He just wants the cash. I taught Hank and the Mad Dog really well. I'm trying to teach Pharrell, but he's like, he's still all wound up.
What are you talking about? He's getting paid for not being here today.
Right. Nice going, Pharrell. 27 after 1 at 560 WQM, and of course it balances out because Scott Jr. there is not getting paid for being there. So you see how, like, yin and yang, the old in and out. He's getting mostly in. Anyway, Dry Concepts would like to come into your home and make you an offer you can't refuse, because they can save you right now 15% on your next carpet cleaning. And when I'm telling you they can make your carpets look just like brand new, it's not an exaggeration. They've been doing it in my house for over 20 years. And even with dogs and pets and whatever else you got crawling around like little kids, whatever it might be, your carpets take a beating, a pounding. If you think that it's hopeless and you're going to have to spend a crap load of cash to get new carpeting, forget about it, because Dry Concepts dry clean your carpets. They're the only people in the world who do this, and it makes them look and smell just like brand new, lemony fresh. They're dry in a couple of hours. It's like a miracle on your flow. And like I said, they offer you a chance to save some extra cash right now. Call Dry Concepts toll-free, 1-800-248, oh, there goes Zimmer on the ground again, 1-800-248-5071, and ask them to put you on their standby list. And then Dry Concepts will call you next time they've got an opening in their schedule. It's the same idea as when you fly standby. If you're available when they have an opening, they'll knock 15% off the price. So call Dry Concepts today. Ask them to put you on their standby list. They might even have an opening for you on the very day that you call. You'll get still 15% off the price of the job. And don't forget, they do give you a written guaranteed price up front before they start doing the work. No rip-offs, no scams, just a stupendous, unbelievably beautiful job every time. Call them toll-free, 1-800-248-5071, or check them on the web at dryconcepts.com.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
This is Ray Hudson, Miami Fusion's head coach, and I love the Queen of South Florida, Neil Rogers. Should be in Buckingham Palace, but we'll keep him here.
Yes, it's true, we are not friends, and yet we're touring once again. Because Paul's solo album's tanked, and there's nothing in Art's piggy bank. That's why they're wheeling both of us on stage, despite our age. Oi! To make the sounds of seniors. We broke up in the 70s, and now we're nearly 70. Our old voices no longer blend, and we are both wearing Depends, and we won't have the slightest idea what we've played. No hearing aids to catch the sounds of seniors. Still lots of groupies come backstage, but they all smell like Ben Gay. Most of them got in the show for free, thanks to the discounts from AARP. And when we come back on stage to give you the encore, we're gonna snore, 'cause that's the sound of seniors.
133 at 560 WQM. This is a cute cartoon drawing that somebody just made. It's the Uncle Sam poster, billboard. Only it's Arnold on the face, pointing, and he says, "I want you to let me sniff your vagina." Is what Arnold is saying.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
And I'll guarantee he's not saying it to Ann Coulter, or Screw Ann, or Doreen. Woo, man. That really pisses me off, that thing about the banner at the ballpark. It's unconscionable. See, unlike the good old days at IOD, what was that IOD TV spot we had?
Which one?
I don't know. We had the Dice Man thing on it.
Mm-hmm.
And at the stadium, both for the Dolphins and the Marlins, they were like playing everybody's spots on there. You know, Each one had his own TV spot.
Right.
Ranieri and me and Rick and Spud and whoever else was there then. And we got equal rotation. We were perching and rotating. But not a QAM, man. Because even though IOD in those days, they had the Dolphins, they had the Hurricanes, they had all of those things, very sports-intensive station, but they realized that they had other things besides just sports. But not a QAM.
Well, it was a radio station, if you remember.
I beg your pardon?
WIOD, it was a radio station.
What's that?
I'm supposed to hear.
Domestic diva Martha Stewart described her fears in an exclusive interview with ABC News' Barbara Wawa. In her only interview since being indicted for her sale of Imclone stock and before going to trial in January of next year, Stewart tells Walters, "Who wouldn't be scared? Of course I'm scared. The last place I'd ever want to go is prison, and I don't think I'll be going to prison, though."
Broomhandle.
Can you... Oh, man. Broomhilda? Can you just imagine what would be going on in that joint? Speaking of what Arnold just said, I want to sniff. Oh, no. Nasty. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. They're almost out of material here. Here's Miami Shores. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
This is Miami Shores, right?
That's what it sounds like to me.
I wanted to call and thank you for putting this fat pig on the frying pan, Rush Limbaugh.
Right.
And I wanted to state something that kind of clears everything up. I think anytime you see a self-righteous asshole, anybody who's on a pedestal like that, you're looking at a hypocrite. It's built in by default.
Right.
And I wish there was a way that we could just urge mainstream media like 60 Minutes, Mike Wallace, to get on this and do a complete, thorough expose of all the sound bites you could get from his archives that illustrate his hypocrisy concerning this drug addiction thing.
I'm sure Al Franken's working on it right now.
Well, I'd like to see the most mainstream media get it out. You know what I mean? I appreciate what you're doing, and I just wanted to say that.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, have a good day.
Mainstream, like the Reader's Digest, even. Wouldn't that be good?
Sure.
Good Sunday afternoon reading in the Reader's Digest. Put your slippers on your tootsies and stick them up on the old thing.
Right. I can't wait for the movie of the week.
Movie of the minute. I'd watch each one a whole bunch of times.
About 30, man.
Can't wait. Now, see, there are some people that you just love it when they fall. I mean, there are other people you feel, oh, gee, you have like ambivalent feelings or maybe a little bit of sympathy. I couldn't elicit 1 ounce of sympathy for this big tub of crap. He is one of the, I mean, you talk about evildoers. In fact, where the hell is the article about how when he went and visited the White House in 92, President George Herbert Walker Bush the 1st, he carried his bags into the White House for, a photo op for the media, carried his bags in there. Yeah. To show all the right-wingers how, and again, of course, Bush got his ass kicked by Clinton.
Oh!
It goes to show you. But nevertheless. Yeah, he did a photo op carrying his goddamn bags in so he could sleep in the goddamn Lincoln bedroom. I wonder what he was popping up there. God only knows. So the same assholes that were screaming about Bubba and a couple of blowjobs, I notice how silent they are now about their hero, their fallen hero, who's popping like thousands and thousands of illegal pills, who's taking away pills from little old ladies on street corners because he's so desperate, because Wilma's low on goods today. Wonder how much cabbage he wound up puking out the last few years,
A lot of coleslaw with that cabbage.
Look at that phone, man. There's one call left. It's West Palm Beach. Hello.
Hey, Dale, got a spy report.
Yep.
Toast left the 8 to 4 morning show.
Yeah.
He stiffed him this morning. Didn't show up.
Just didn't show up?
Just didn't show up, and they called.
Okay, well, that's pretty exciting. Do we care about that?
No.
No. He's toast. Yeah, we're supposed to care about that. And that's it. No more calls on the board. That's the end of that.
Now you can read.
Oh, I have a lot of good stuff here. Kill Bill buddies up the box office. Most violent movie. Oh, and I got the thing about the Army suicides. And poor Condoleezza. Maybe I'd like to pick on Condoleezza a little bit.
Yes.
And a little more.
Yes.
And more than that.
Yes.
And a lot more than
I
that.
haven't heard
Sure,
about
why
the
not?
Army suicides yet.
I'll get to it. Just relax. I got plenty of time. There's not going to be. I mean, now they're calling in to them, okay? I don't like this. We haven't done that in a long time. It's a holiday. There's no excuse. A lot of people out working today. We're getting record-breaking numbers on our poll, which I'll take the poll, Calls we don't have to worry about. 1,098. We're going to have 1,100 votes faster than you can say, refresh
I've got it. I've got 1101 on mine.
See, before I could even finish saying it. You're like a half a step ahead, except on payday. 1101. What's your take on a Rush Limbaugh drug addiction story? He's a big, fat, hypocritical asshole, 528. 48%. I always knew he was full of Schmidt, 324. That's nearly, how many percent?
About 30, man.
29.4. I hope he never comes back, 117. Hey, Rush, paper or plastic, 45. I feel very sorry for him, 33. I'm still a ditto head, 28. And Rush is God, 26. Don't you feel sorry for all of us? Although the positive categories, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, who do we appreciate? 7.7%, which means 92.3% in the negatory.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Who's going to give Ricky a blow?
I don't know.
Have you ever been involved in a construction accident?
Yes.
Lead poisoning?
Yes.
Slip, trip, or fall?
Yes, yes.
Did a scaffold or ladder happen to bonk you in the head?
Yes, yes.
Have you inhaled asbestos?
Yes.
Do you have a birth injury?
Yes.
Ever slam your finger in a car door?
Yes.
Ever blow your nose so hard it bled?
Yes.
Drop a toaster in your bathtub?
Yes.
Ever get shot in the head with a pellet gun?
Yes.
Well, we can help. We're Sweezel, Goldstein, Caputo, and Wisnowski, and we'll get you your money, even if you really don't deserve it. Big companies have lots of cash. Why shouldn't you get some? Attorney Sheldon Goldstein.
We believe the best way to get your money is by lying. Hey, no one ever got ahead in this world by telling the truth. Azaknis Vey. Although this may sound a little shady, Bruch, not to worry. We got more judges in our pockets than you got lint. You know, in your pocket.
Have you ever been punched while lactating?
Yes.
Ever swallow your own teeth?
Yes.
Has your love stick ever blown up to 3 times its normal size after a night of passion with a street hoochie?
Yes.
Well, we can help. We're Sweezel, Goldstein, Caputo, and Wisnowski. We'll get you your money, even if you really don't deserve it.
Se habla español. A little. Just don't talk fast.
Although Sweezel, Goldstein, Caputo, and Wisnowski face 47 separate charges of fraud, their doors remain open.
Come in. See us. Talk. We'll eat.
You don't pay a cent unless we get...
They pay. They pay.
You won't pay a cent unless we get you your money.
Well, that's true. They only get about 10%, though.
16 till 2 at 560 WQM. There's Don Zimmer again. He just fell down again. Damn it. He's feeling really bad, though, and he's embarrassed, and he's crying. He's, like, all bent out of shape. Davis signs California domestic partner law on the way out. California has become the first state to require businesses with large state contracts to offer domestic partners the same benefits that spouses enjoy, although the law won't take effect till 2007. Outgoing Governor Gay Davis signed the bill enacting the measure, which had been a key goal of gay rights groups. Jeff Coors, executive director of Equality California, called the move incredibly significant. There are a lot of businesses that want state contracts. In order to be eligible, companies will now have to give equal benefits, Coors said. That's K-O-R-S as opposed to C-O-O-R-S.
Okay.
In 1996, San Francisco became the first jurisdiction in the country to adopt such a requirement, prompting numerous companies to offer benefits to domestic partners, Coors said. Other cities have followed suit since, and California is the first state to approve such a law. Signed into law by Governor Gay Davis, who's on the way out. Well, that was considerate of him. Rice fails to repair rifts, officials said. Boy, you just can't. Are we allowed to say anything negative about Condoleezza? Is that now in the Constitution? Is it in there? We can't criticize that bitch?
I hate her teeth.
Last week, the White House announced that National Security Advisor Condoleezza Rice had been given the new responsibility of managing the struggling effort to rebuild Iraq. In the words of one official, Rice would crack the whip, frankly. The announcement was met by puzzlement throughout the foreign policy community. Isn't that what the National Security Advisor is supposed to do in the first place, they were wondering? This is a very long story. I'm just going to read a little piece. It's on our website. Rice has proven to be a poised and articulate defender of President Bush's policies, but her management of the National Security Council, the principal coordinator and enforcer of presidential decision-making, has come under fire from former and current administration officials and a range of foreign policy experts. From the start, the administration has been riven by ideological disputes in foreign policy, but both neoconservative hawks and mainstream Republican foreign policy realists say many of the administration's foreign policy headaches are directly related to the interagency process that Rice oversees. A senior State Department official voicing an opinion that few in government disputed said, if you want a one-word description of the NSC since January 21st, 2001, the word would be dysfunctional. Rice declined to be interviewed for this article, but Stephen A. Began, former NSC executive secretary who left in January to become National Security Affairs advisor to Senate Majority Leader Bill Frist of Tennessee, dismissed many of the complaints as blame-shifting. He said the State Department and Defense Department don't need Condi Rice to solve their problems. They're at the table to solve those problems. Henry Kissinger, former National Security Advisor and Secretary of State, said, in my experience, the losing side in an argument in the governmental process tends to blame the security advisor. The fact that all of them are complaining simultaneously is not a bad sign, he said, whatever the hell it's supposed to mean. He also said,
you understand the Gestapo keeps track of everyone.
That's what Henry Kissinger be saying. A lot of Germans and Austrians in the mix, you know what?
Yeah, I noticed that.
In the mix. How's the poll mixing? Boy, I'll guarantee you it's heavy duty. 1,136 votes. Can you believe that?
I have to. It's right there.
Well, Alien is, I don't know, do we ever do 2,000? Of course, this is just during the show. This is definitely a record number of votes, and probably, like I said, a bunch of people with nothing else to do. 1136. What's your take? Well, I'll read the result later on. It wears me out. When in doubt, it wears me out. Look at that phone. Is that an incredible response? And I think that Hollywood line 6 is going to be what we've been waiting for. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
C-A-N-E-S.
Yeah. Like I said, we've been waiting for another asshole. I was right on it. Here's our last call. This one's from Miami. Hello.
I wish Rush was on, don't you?
Yeah, sure do. Wish Rush was on. That's a good response. That's brilliant. Ditto, ditto, ditto. I wish Rush was on. Well, guess what? For the next month and probably longer than that, he ain't gonna be. So we'll fill your desperate need for hearing that voice by just playing. You know something? Probably from noon to 2, we could get a hell of a tune-in audience every day.
Hey, all ditto heads, we got you over here.
Hey, here you go. Here's your ditto head. Here you go. Everybody goose step right now. He's doing it. I sure wish Rush was on, don't you?
Yeah.
5670560, pound 560. Army probes soldier suicides. Here's that story that you've been salivating for in USA Today. Alarmed by the number of suicides among soldiers in Iraq, the Army has asked a team of doctors to determine whether the stress of combat and long deployment is contributing to the deaths. The number of suicides has caused the Army to be concerned. Lieutenant Colonel Elspeth Cameron Ritchie, no relation to Lionel Richie or Jim Ritchie or Fat Ritchie, a psychiatrist at the Army's Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences in Bethesda, Maryland. Ritchie is helping to investigate the suicides in Iraq. Is there something different going on in Iraq we really need to pay attention to, he said? In the past 7 months, at least 11 soldiers and 3 Marines have committed suicide in Iraq, military officials say. That's an annual rate of 17 per 100,000. The Navy is also investigating one possible suicide, and about a dozen other Army deaths are under investigation and could include suicides. About a dozen. The numbers suggest the rate in Iraq is above normal. Last year, the military services reported 8 to 9 suicides per 100,000. The Army rate is usually higher, 10 to 13. Now, wait till you hear this. That mirrors the rate for the same age group in the general population, 10 to 13 per 100,000. Doesn't that sound like a little drastic to you?
A little bit.
In a year.
Okay.
10 to 13. So let's say, take like Rochester, New York's 300,000 people. That would mean like 30, how many?
About 30, man.
To 39 in a year, suicide. I guess it sounds right. And listen, since we're talking about people that really ought to put a bullet in their brain, I bet you those checks have come pouring in for abandoned pet rescue since I put out my plea again, haven't they? Sales department, my colleagues on the air, I bet you the money is just pouring in there.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Shula, I f***ed them.
Oh!
Language I hear on TV. Every other word is an obscenity. It used to be the cable was a whole lot worse, but now the networks let their actors curse. There's no end in sight to this insanity. All the dialogue contains profanity. Swearing like a sailor on a 3-day pass. Words a whole lot worse than ass. F-bomb, F-bomb, how long will it be before they drop the F-bomb on network TV? F-bomb, F-bomb, there's no telling when they'll drop one on the UPN.
Oh, no, look at this. In Tallulah, Louisiana, did you see this?
No. What?
Church tractor collision.
Oh,
this
yeah.
Church was reportedly, the people on the bus reportedly on their way to a church.
Yeah, I saw that.
He sure works in mysterious ways, doesn't he? The Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Faith fades where it once burned strong. This is a really good article in the New York Times today by Frank Bruni. I don't think I have time to read the whole thing, do I? Well, we'll just move over and do a Mad Dog show. Why the hell not? No. Like many Italians in decades in childhood's past, Giampaolo Servadio used to go to Roman Catholic Mass every week, even served as an altar boy. But last Sunday morning, as church bells tolled around Rome, the city of storied cathedrals, he followed a different ritual. He went running. It struck him as a more relevant use of time. The church seems really out of step, said Mr. Servadio, 39, mentioning issues like birth control and questioning the very utility of prayer. I don't see something like a confession and a few repetitions of the Hail Mary are going to solve any problems. Hey, now he's getting it.
Mm-hmm.
He wondered if he should even call himself Catholic. When you realize that for 20 years you don't do this, you don't even go to church, what kind of Catholic are you? I would say a smart one. A fairly typical one, at least in Italy and much of Europe, where the ties to Christianity no longer seem to bind the way they once did, and often seem not to bind at all. This week, Pope John Paul II is to celebrate his 25th anniversary as head of the Roman Catholic Church, which is both Europe's and Christianity's largest denomination. It's been a quarter of a century of enormous changes, and few have been more significant for his church and mainstream Protestant denominations than the withering of the Christian faith in Europe and the shift in its center of gravity to the southern hemisphere. You know what they've been trying to say?
Incredible.
Oh. Christianity has boomed in the developing world, competing successfully with Islam, deepening its influence and possibly finding its future there. But Europe already seems more and more like a series of tourist-trod monuments to Christianity's past. Hardly a month goes by when the Pope doesn't publicly bemoan the fact that beseeching Europeans ought to rediscover the faith. Their estrangement has deep implications, including the prospect of schisms in intercontinental churches and political frictions within and between countries. The secularization of Europe, according to some political analysts, is one of the forces pushing it apart from the U.S., where religion plays a potent and ugly role in politics and society, shaping many Americans' views of the world. Americans are widely regarded as more comfortable with notions of good and evil, right and wrong, than the Europeans, who often see such views as reckless, and of course we know that they are.
Absolutely correct, sir.
In France, which is predominantly Catholic but emphatically secular, about 1 in 20 people attends a religious service every week, compared with about 1 in 3 in the U.S. How do you like that, eh? 1 in 3 in the U.S., eh? What's interesting isn't that there are fewer people in church, said the Reverend Jean-François Bourdier of Little Lily in northern France, but that there are any at all. While France is an extreme case, its drift from Christian institutions and disparity with the U.S. hold true throughout much of Europe, where faithful attendance at Christian services, whether Catholic, Protestant, or Orthodox, is the province of a small minority of people. They show up to mark crucial milestones in their and their loved ones' lives, but they pay minimal heed between those visits to their church's exhortations and admonitions and abominations and bubba-mices. The tension between contemporary attitudes and traditional church teaching has forced an emergency meeting this week of the leaders of the Worldwide Anglican Communion. They're expected to debate the acceptability of openly gay bishops in their church, yada, yada, yada. It goes on. I was almost done with it. That's okay. It was good enough. Because we sure want to give you one last look at these numbers on this amazing poll today. Eat your heart out, alien, and even you abuelas, huh? I wonder if the abuelas are going to be checking Rush's penis while he's in rehab.
They're going to bite his tongue.
1,166 votes. What's your take on the Rush Limbaugh drug addiction story? He's a big, fat hypocrite. 558. 47.8. Almost half of this audience say, Rush, you're a big, fat hypocrite. Not as fat as he used to be, but we know why. You hear me, Rush? Maybe I'll talk louder. Right. I always knew he was full of Schmidt. 349. I hope he never comes back. 123. Hey, Rush, paper or plastic? 45. I feel very sorry for him. 38. I'm still a ditto head. 28. And Rush is God. Well, I mean, God is, we got that what if God smoked cannabis. Maybe God is hooked on OxyContin. What do you say, huh? Maybe. Rush is God. 27. We got the real radio God. We got the Mad Dog coming up next, who's going to be basking in the glory of his team's victory over a girls' team again yesterday, and the Marlins and et cetera, and all of these things.
Bye. The Neil Rogers Show on 560 WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
The first time you pulled the covers back and you saw a boner.